So I think people like the mobile idea, buddy.
I think so too.
I'm thinking we're going to have to pull off some mobile RAWtalks. Maybe I'm trying to talk with Creative Live about doing something there in Seattle when I get out there. So it would be before you needed to be back for the 12th. And we would open it up, but we would still do the charging thing. 15, 20 bucks. Haven't figured out exactly what it would be, but we do need to cover expenses that way. We definitely would bring out some merch and things like that, but I don't know how many we would end up doing. It wouldn't be like we're going to just tour the country and nonstop do things. We would just figure out what works best for us and fly a place and do this. I mean, I've got a lot of miles on Southwest right now.
You do.
And I'm tired of Southwest.
And don't you have that like free fly-along buddy thing or something?
I have the companion pass. I've had it since December. I've had it since January 1st, basically, where anybody could have flown with me for free as long as I had a ticket or they flew with me.
Yeah.
I don't have a girlfriend. If I had a girlfriend, I'd be doing it more.
Does that count even like international and everywhere else?
No, it doesn't. The Southwest doesn't fly it. They have international partners.
They don't fly international.
But this would be the domestic type flights.
Gotcha.
But anyway, that's that. Why don't I introduce the show?
Sounds good.
Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and welcome to RAWtalk, episode number 88. Ooh, it's 88. We're calling it 4 more years. 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 Well, it's not a presidential election, but what 4 more years are there? Well, it is June 1st is the 4-year anniversary, or was the 4-year anniversary of FroKnowsPhoto.com. It launched June 1st of 2010 with a very huge lead up. It wasn't a big lead up. It was just a couple of videos that I put up teasing it, and I think it was me picking my hair, and who knew what was going to happen when I launched it 4 years ago.
What was that, in like your bedroom too, at your parents' house or something?
Yes, it was at the bedroom. It was my brother's room because he was no longer there. And
that was your studio?
Well, that was where I sat, and I bought an iMac. I bought an iMac in like October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. I don't know. I bought an iMac before. Yeah, because part of the idea was I needed to spend some money to get the quality. Like, I needed to edit video. I needed to learn how to do this stuff. And the Mac, for me, was the best option, especially with iMovie and all of that. And so I got that thing, and then I launched the site June 1st, and now we're here 4 years later. Obviously, there's a ton of changes that have happened over 4 years. I've never stuck with a job longer than a year, let alone 4 years. But, I mean, is it really a job?
Well, to you, it's not. I think you thoroughly enjoy this job.
I like being busy. You know, when I'm not busy, when I have nothing going on, I'm in trouble.
And you're really bored.
Well, it's just like, I need to be doing something. I need to be creative.
Yep.
But that's beside the point. We're going to talk more about the 4 years past. After our interview, we've got a Wong interview that I sat with him in Tel Aviv in my hotel room. It's about 25 to 30-minute long interview with him. Pretty cool. Going to go into more detail about that. That's coming up in the middle of the show. At the end, we're going to talk about those. I put out there, what questions do you have about the last 4 years? And I only put it up this morning before we recorded this. So there was like 50, 60 comments there. But also I said, what are some of your fondest memories? So there's a bunch of those. I want to read a bunch of those just so that I could read them.
Cool.
We have that. We've got your photo news. We've got these other discussions I want to talk about before photo news. Not long at all.
You say that now.
Yeah, I do. Well, anyway, how was your week?
It was good.
Yeah.
Edited it from home a lot of the times. Did we shoot a video this week? No, we didn't.
I shot a video.
You shot a video and I edited it.
I shot Jenna.
Yes, 5-minute portrait.
5-minute portrait.
18
minutes long.
Yeah, it's actually closest to 5 minutes I think you've had in a long time.
Well, because I didn't film the entire process. I didn't film her in the egg chair.
Yeah.
If you were here to do it, probably we would have done it. But it was cool just to photograph her after we were done making a video.
I didn't even know you were doing it because
I didn't know I was doing
over the
it
weekend,
either.
right?
Well, I did it, Saturday morning.
Yeah.
She came over, and we were getting set up. We sat and talked. She had coffee, and we sat, and then I was like, all right, let's get ready to shoot. And then I stood there, and I'm setting my settings. I'm like talking to myself. I'm going from 400 ISO to 320, and then I'm going to go to f3.2, and this is I'm like, who am I talking to? I don't have a camera running. I'm like, I'm not going to record it. I need to just shoot. And then I'm like, damn it. I'm going to set up a camera. All right, 3 cameras later, I got the D800 rolling on her. I've got the D600 on me.
Yes.
I've got the GoPro running ProTune on top of the camera. So that thing's rolling. So anyway, long story long is that I can continued. I did it.
ProTune was nice too, because since you were shooting with the continuous Kino flows with her, when your GoPro was first person shooter angle, it was a little blown out because GoPro's trying to measure for the blackness all around, and then you have the bright whites in the middle, so it was kind of metering in the middle, and it was so blown out.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is with ProTune, I recovered most of that to at least make it work.
No, it's definitely cool. I like those 5-minute portraits. I like doing that, and we'll talk more about what's coming up in the future.
Yeah.
But Sutter, how was your week?
Pretty good. I drove up to Massachusetts for 3 days this week and hung out with some friends that I haven't seen in a while.
Did your girlfriend go?
Yes, she did.
I'm surprised you didn't end up in like Hawaii or something.
That was the joke, because last time we were supposed to go visit this friend is when we ended up in Seattle. So I was like, we have to stay on track this time. And yeah, it was a great trip. We had a blast.
Any stories about your mom this week?
No.
Because I sent her last week's podcast to listen to.
Oh, yeah? You have connections with my mom? Is that...
No. Are you a Facebook friend with her?
I don't think she has Facebook.
Uh-oh.
Your mom's nice, by the way.
Yeah.
She was very nice. A very nice family, by the way, when I was over
I've
their house.
Never met any
Really
of them.
cool. Very, very accepting people. They've got like an open door policy, I would assume.
Yeah. I mean, Sam
Sam
Green lives
Green's-
with
Is
How's
he
that
living
been?
there?
He slept over on Monday night.
Did you play with Barbies?
Not
Dress
Barbies.
up?
It was actually G.I. Joe's, if you want to get serious. But when I went on the trip, he went back to his apartment to kind of just tidy up whatever else he could grab. And then I'm going to help him move more stuff to my house tonight and tomorrow, because he has to be out tomorrow night.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so moving along here, I don't have any specific sponsor, but I've got something for myself, store.FroKnowsPhoto.com. I'm running a 4-year anniversary special.
Ooh.
I'm still figuring all of it out, but there is a code. The code is 4 years. That is the number 4, no spaces, YEARS. Oh, and you can get all of this information on FroKnowsPhoto.com/RAWtalk-88. I got it right, and I didn't mess up. So that's where you can get this information. And we'll link over to the store. But what I'm doing is a $5 off coupon code on orders of $19 or more. I picked 19 because I think it ends up becoming like $19.98 or something if you add 2 items. But I'm going to make it $19. It's on everything but the specials. So if I'm running another special for the 4-year anniversary, you're not going to get $5 off of that because that one's already discounted. But it's a $5 off coupon code. It's going to be good for 1 week from June 1st till the 7th, I guess. And if you go ahead and pick up anything in the store, I'm going to be doing something where there's going to be some randomness tossed in. I'm going to have 40 different random giveaways that go in with an order.
Like a goodie bag?
Well, random stuff. Could be a lens strap. Could be one of my Black Rapid straps.
Nice.
I may give away 1 or 2 of those, but there could be some DVDs. There could be some lens cloths. There could be wristbands and stickers and just extra bonusy things. So definitely leave a comment with your order, trying to entice Heidi to pick you as somebody to give one of those 40 random things. 40 for the 4-year anniversary type thing. Go to store.FroKnowsPhoto.com. Use the code 4 years, and yeah, maybe you'll get some extra random stuff, but you will get $5 off your order of $19 or more. So that kind of covers shipping and stuff like that. That's a good thing.
You gonna put like a golden ticket in any of them?
No golden tickets.
Nothing to visit the loft.
No Willy Wonka factory stuff this time, but just 40 random things is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we've got that. We're going to get to your photo news in a second. Something YouTube put out a new video to the creators. And I
watched it, yeah.
I read a lot of YouTube creator type stuff where they're talking about what's coming in the future, because YouTube knows they need to start, or Google and YouTube need to start changing. They need to evolve with the time, because Yahoo says that by the end of the summer, they're going to put out a YouTube type service.
Really?
That's what they say. They've been trying to buy YouTube creators to come to the channel. Basically buy them off and promise them high CPMs, which is clicks per thousand. That's how people make money off of advertising. So they're trying to entice them to do that, and most of them won't jump ship yet. They don't want to jump ship because it doesn't exist, and they're not really sure. I mean, why would you leave something so big?
Yeah, I mean, YouTube's pretty hard to beat.
Well, I wouldn't leave YouTube at all, but if Yahoo goes ahead and strikes with a video platform, Sutter's going to get a job for a minute where he's going to upload all of my old videos and put in all of... You're going to just literally sit there for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
For weeks and weeks and weeks.
for hours and hours and hours. You're going to sit there and you're going to upload all of my good videos that I think are the best of the best of the best with honors. Sir. There you go. And those are going to go up there because I'm going to jump on that platform early because maybe they'll catch wind of like, holy crap, this stuff's good. We want to get a deal to you for something. Why not?
Know.
It's multi-platformed. Yahoo's going to put a lot of money behind it. But the other thing that YouTube was talking about was a tip jar. Now, other people have tried this tip jar
like
option.
a crowdfunding kind of thing?
But it's a tip jar.
Okay.
Meaning, under the video, you have an option to just tip the creator. So if you like, that sounds like a band, Tyler, the Creator.
Yeah.
Tip the Creator. You have the option, if you like the video or something like that, that you could tip if you found the information useful. I don't know if people will do that. I don't know what I think. I mean, I think it's an interesting idea. It's not forcing people to do anything. And on the other side, if you turned off advertising or still ran both, people have the option. If you want to throw a couple bucks here because you thought it was cool. I don't know that it would take off. I don't know that people are going to sit there and be like, well, I'm going to use Google Pay, or I don't even think Google Pay exists anymore, but that we're going to throw money at it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Hashtag tip jar at FroKnowsPhoto. Let me know, would you throw some tips towards me or other YouTube creators? Boom.
I think of like Bandcamp, where they have a lot of them where like you can give the album away for free.
Or like, yeah, and donate.
Yeah, free, or you can pay whatever you want, like name your price kind of thing. And most of the time it comes out being 99% of people get it for free, and that 1% who's actual
The
generous.
name the price thing, you can put zero.
Yeah, you can put zero, which most people do. And
name your price app. Will you give us $2 and we'll That's Flow.
I
I
know.
was just about to ask if that was Flow.
Of course that was Flow.
I wonder if has anyone been realizing that I've been adding like reverb to your voice, because no one's really
sounded great.
commented, but I kind of found the perfect reverb setting for your voice. I feel like it matches very well, and I'll have to do something with that Flow one just there.
All right, Steven. Let's get to your photo news, because I'll talk about the 4-year thing after the Von Wongerthon, and then
Von Wongerthon.
Photo news with Steven.
And go.
Zoom has officially announced the H5. It's very similar to the H6 that we're actually using for RAWtalk.
Yeah, Steven, look, is our H6 recording?
It is recording.
All right, good.
That is good. But it comes in at $130 cheaper for pre-order at least, and has about half the number of inputs. Fully compatible with all the Zoom input capsules like the H6. Comes with a new XY stereo capsule, which features extended signal capacity up to 140 dB, and also comes with a shock mount mic, which is really great for like DSLR users. So there's not that handling noise that you're going to be getting from just like moving everything around and all that crap. It features 2 XLR TRS inputs versus the H6's 4 inputs. Basically a more affordable option for those who want just great audio but only need a few inputs. Price tag of $269.99, and it's expected to be available at the end of July.
So the Zoom H6 I paid $399 for,
Which is great price.
It's got the color screen. The other one doesn't have the color screen. I'm assuming that the other one's going to be slightly smaller.
It does look smaller, and it also looks like it has more of a plastic feel to it.
Right. So that's going to be $269 opposed to $399. If you don't need a lot of inputs, look, we talked about this a lot, that you can go out and create your own podcast. You can create your own recordings. It's not you don't have to spend a ton of money. So you pick up one of these things for $269. You pick up a Rode microphone that's XLR input. Actually, you pick up 2 microphones, because you sit there and you just find a friend. Kevin Smith says this stuff all the time.
Does he?
Yeah, he always is like, he encourages people to start podcasts. Just sit down for a year and talk to your friend. You're going to sit there and bullshit with them anyway. You might as well just record it, because you never know if people are going to like it. So find a friend, find an idea to talk about, put out this podcast, sit there with a Zoom H6. You don't have to do video with it. We do that because of what we do, but sit there in front of the microphones. You could spend maybe $400, maybe $500. If you invest $500 into it, you're going to use the stuff for other things as well, and it could benefit you in the long run. It's just great to sit down and talk to your friends.
Yeah, and you really don't need much inputs. I mean, if you just have 2 people, this is perfect for it. And you can also put an input capsule of 2 more XLR inputs if you need 4. Like the H6 will do up to 6, but 4 is plenty.
Yep.
Moving forward, this is really neat. NASA released a 3.2 gigapixel image of the globe that's comprised of 36,000 individual selfies.
Selfies of the globe.
Oh, yeah. NASA announced about a month ago for people to hashtag global selfie and put a selfie of themselves for this project up on the web or Instagram or whatever. They had over 50,000 submissions tagged with people from 113 different countries. They used the Gigapan viewer so you can actually zoom in all the way to each individual selfie. And of course, you can download the full res, and even print it out if you want, because it's not exactly full res. It's only like 2,000 pixels wide, but still something cool to print out, especially if you're one of the people in it. And yeah, just a cool thing to do.
Earth selfie.
Earth selfie. A camera was found at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean after it was lost.
Hold on.
In a world where a camera was found at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, will the photo survive? We don't know until Steven finishes his news story, but if they did survive, did the camera survive? What kind of card was it? And will there be a sequel? Coming soon to a theater near you, or on RAWtalk, we have photo news. Now Steven's going to finish the story and see what actually happened.
So it was lost 2 years prior. The crazy part is that after cleaning the camera, the memory card was still intact along with the photos, like you just revealed. A man named Paul Burgoyne lost the camera after his ship sunk on its maiden voyage. Talk about bad luck, extremely bad luck.
Wait, was it a dinghy?
A dinghy?
A dinghy.
I don't know what a dinghy is.
Dinghy.
Was it his own ship?
I think so, yeah.
Well, ships are big.
It wasn't ginormous.
Then it's called a dinghy.
Okay, it's a dinghy. His ship...
Hashtag dinghy.
Students at the Bamfield Marine Sciences Center University discovered the camera after conducting research dives around that specific area. The card inside was a Lexar 8 gig Platinum 2 card. Lexar card, not an SD, not a SanDisk card.
What are you trying to say?
Because you love your SanDisk cards.
I do love my SanDisk
and you will never go to
cards.
Lexar, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, again, a Lexar card.
Speaking of Lexar, they're on our wheel this week.
They are on our wheel. A member of the Coast Guard recognized the man in the pictures, though, from when he rescued him from the sinking dinghy, and they returned the card to him. And yeah, all the pictures were saved, all the memories were saved, and I think the pictures were actually of him like spreading ashes of one of his loved ones that recently passed away. So they were very important images that he thought he lost forever, and he didn't.
I just don't know the Gilligan Island theme song to sit here and sing it.
Oh, I don't even remember, man. It's been so long. They used to be on Nick at Night all the time.
You guys sing the Gilligan's Island theme song at home for yourself, because I don't know. It's like a skip or two, dooby doo. Okay.
You know what's funny is that on Nick at Night now, it's like Friends episodes, Full House,
What?
like all these shows that aren't that old, like maybe 90s and early 2000s.
Oh, speaking of shows, Cheers was 11 seasons.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned that.
I went and wikied basically everything about that show that night when we got home. And yeah, 11 seasons. I think it ran for 10 years.
It was from like 80-something to 90-something.
Yeah, I thought it was like...
Well, 11 seasons.
Yeah, 11 seasons.
And,
a lot of seasons.
But back then, they didn't do 13 episodes. They did 26. They did 32 episodes a season. Unbelievable.
And I went back and watched a bunch of YouTube videos of Norm like walking into the bar. There's like a mashup supercut of him walking in with all these like one-liners every time he walks in.
Norm is so... My dad, I mean, they love that show. And they also had Kelsey Grammer, who was... what was his name in that movie? Frasier,
and then
he was Frasier, and then he
after.
did Frasier.
Yeah.
That was the longest continuous running character in TV history.
Really?
Was Frasier.
Wow, that's great. What's he doing now?
Counting his money.
Yeah,
he divorced his wife, counting his money.
His huge personal bank.
Yeah, basically.
Another big story this week, a Facebook software engineer released a full tutorial on his website on how to steal copyrighted images, as in basically remove the watermarks. The man behind it, Jesse Chen, goes into extreme detail in a blog post about how to remove watermarks from your graduation photos using his own as an example. Now, this is a fairly old post, though. It originally dated back to 2012, but for some reason it just hit mainstream media this week. So I don't know if it got posted on like Reddit or something and it just blew up. But he took down the post since then, so
which is crazy. And you said he works at
Facebook software engineer. I think he would just graduated when he put this post up originally, but I wonder if he got in any trouble at Facebook for doing something like this.
Isn't it crazy though how something's found now? It's 2 years old, but all of a sudden it goes viral. It just sits there forever with nothing, and then somebody picks it up from somewhere and it gets out there.
My only thought is, since it is like graduation time for college and all that, maybe he rehashed
Do you know what that
it.
reminds me of?
What?
Vitamin C.
The graduation
As we
song.
go on, we remember all the times we had together. As we go on, we remember. I repeated the same line forever. Yo, Vitamin C here saying, what up when you graduate in the... Look up the graduation song on YouTube. Post it. Post the graduation song underneath from Vitamin C. I loved that song. Now, so Vitamin C was out at the time of Pink. Vitamin C had orange hair. Pink had pink hair. Vitamin C didn't go anywhere very far.
I was gonna say that's like the one hit, right, that she had.
But she went on to head up something at Nickelodeon because I wikied her a while back ago.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I wikied her, all right. And yeah, she got a job, I think, heading up music for Nickelodeon or something along those lines. So she did well.
Wow.
But that song was awesome.
Was used for every single graduation that year.
It's still a great song.
That and Good Riddance is still used like every year.
I hate Green Day, right?
You do.
That's a good song, though.
The one time you'll say that from Green Day.
Screw Green Day. What were you going to say, Suts?
Don't think I was going to say anything.
What was your graduation song last year?
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Last
I
year.
have no idea.
Mine was Journey, Don't Stop Believing.
I'm not going to say. But did you see Steve Perry made an appearance? His first concert since '95.
I did not see that.
Yeah, Google. It's all over the place. You didn't see that music news?
No, we don't cover that.
But that's huge news.
Yeah, but we also don't cover any of that classic stuff.
But it's Journey.
It's not big news for us. That's
It
all I'm
should
saying.
be big. Anyway, I'll get quickly through this. Steve Perry was at a concert in Minneapolis in Minnesota, and the guy brought him out, and it's a 13-minute long video that somebody shot and uploaded to YouTube, and it was the first time that he was on stage singing in like
how many years?
25 years.
I wonder
You said
how many
95,
views,
right?
Yeah.
wonder
That
how
would
many-
be 19 years.
Yeah, like 19 years.
how many views that video has now.
It probably has 1 million or so because it's gone around.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool because I know I read Lefset's letter, Bob Lefset's, and he's like, this was supposed to be the guy that could barely walk and he was too fat and he couldn't sing anymore, and here he is, and he never sold out. Like, he's a guy that never sold out, but maybe they'll get back together and tour again and do the thing for the kids that want to see him. Anyway, sorry.
That would be cool. Should I move on?
Back to, Vitamin C.
All right, so Lomo, they announced a new Kickstarter campaign, a new instant camera, which basically mimics the Fuji Instax. It actually uses the Fuji Instax mini film.
Really?
Yeah, it does. So that's why it'll be a pretty big competitor. It'll take photos in bulb mode, shoot multiple exposures in camera. Some other specs include that it comes with a built-in wide-angle lens, but you can swap it out for like a fisheye or portrait lens too, which is really nice. It also comes with gels, various filters. So Sutter, you'll love that. 3 different shooting modes: auto flash on, manual flash on, and manual flash off. Unlimited multiple exposures. Again, a bulb mode.
Flash on.
Flash off.
Flash off.
They already reached.
Wait. We got to...
Do you need to do it perfect?
Hold on. Sutter.
Wax on, wax off.
All right, just checking. But wait, did that happen in the new Karate Kid with
I don't
Jaden
even think I
Pinkett?
honestly ever saw any of the Karate Kids. I just know what the reference is.
Go back and watch the original Karate Kid. All right, the original, not the Jaden Pinkett Smith one. All right, because I never saw the Jaden Pinkett Smith one.
I never did either. And I'm
refuse.
glad I didn't.
Because Mr. Miyagi,
Miyagi.
well, ever since we named the cat
Miyagi.
Miyagi, it's harder to say Pat Morita. Pat Morita was the name of the Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
Miyagi.
Miyagi. It was Mr. Miyagi.
YouTube, how to pronounce Mr. Miyagi. Miyagi.
It was Pat Morita.
Yeah.
Miyagi.
Breed! Huh! Danielson! Wax on, wax off! I'm just washing your cars. No, I'm not washing your cars. I mean, Breed, do the crane. Sentima's high school football rules.
All right, go ahead.
They already reached their goal, which was $100,000. Now they're currently up to $410,000 for this camera at the time of this recording, with about 3 more weeks to go. The early bird specials are already gone, so those that pledge about $89 right now get the camera. I think the early bird special was like $75 or something like that.
I mean, that's cool. That's a great price.
It's a great price.
I was just sitting here, and well, of course I was just sitting here. I was just sitting here thinking while you were doing that, because I didn't want to lose my train of thought. I was like, well, is Fuji going to sue them for using their film? And then I'm like, dude,
it's more money for them.
No, but dude, back in the day, you could put any film in any camera. It's not like they were going to say that you can only. That's smart of Lomography to use the Instax film. Fuji will not be upset. They shouldn't be upset, because the more film they sell, I mean, this means more people taking pictures with their Instax stuff.
And
so,
I'm sorry. I feel like they're making more money on film
than the actual
cameras.
For sure, yeah.
Right. So that's a good thing for them. Really cool idea. Kickstarter, again, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. When are they going to deliver? You know, is it already in production? How have they already done that? Or is this going to be like something you wait 8 months? Because I waited 8-9 months to get a photo book I backed. It took that long to get the thing.
Well, and what else did Lomo release? They released the, didn't they release something else too?
I don't know.
Didn't we just have something the other week that we did on Gear of the Week?
I haven't done anything for Lomo for Gear of the Week.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. But yeah, they already quadrupled their goal within like a week. So,
and basically, it's like telling the Impossible Project that they're a bunch of morons.
Pretty much, yeah.
Speaking of Impossible Project, Leora works there. I heard she got a promotion.
Oh,
she did. I saw that.
Oh yeah, you used to have your Lomo camera used to be called Leora.
The Holga.
Yeah.
It's actually in my bag right now.
Yeah.
you have Leora in your bag?
Leora's in your bag. What's she doing in your bag?
Is in my bag.
What does she do there?
She just got a promotion. I can't tell you. Like, I don't know what but she's good. I mean, it's Leora.
Nice.
So whatever it is, they like her. She probably works with people very well, because everybody seems to like Leora, and it's not because she has nice tattoos on her arms, because she has cameras on her arms, which is because she has got an AE1 on her arm.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
Which is funny, but no, she's just nice and personable, and everybody seems to like Leora.
Yeah,
and she was a bartender, so that kind of goes all hand in hand.
Yeah, she's very sociable. Photo Jojo is now offering lo-fi 3-foot by 4-foot engineer prints. Is what they're calling them. The unique part is that they're printing them on individual industrial printers that are normally used for architectural and engineering blueprints. They only offer half-tone black and white prints, which gets printed on lightweight bond paper. They listed some ideas that you could use this for too, including like custom gift wrapping, wall-size murals, photo booth prints that are taller than people, that kind of stuff. Each print will run you about $25.
How much is shipping?
It's free shipping included. Which isn't bad considering it's Photo Jojo.
How
and
big's
usually
the size for 25
price
3 foot by 4 foot.
3 foot by 4 foot. Yeah,
I don't think that's that bad.
No, it's almost they're printing on just like paper.
It's crap.
Yeah, I don't know if $25 is still a lot for that kind of quality, but it's also I would expect from Photo Jojo to be like 50 because they're
expensive for stuff.
Yeah.
Does Office Max do this? Does FedEx Kinko's do this? You know, do they have the same printers there that you could just send it to them and go pick it up? I mean, yeah, $25 with shipping seems expensive for a piece of literally paper.
Yeah.
It's not photographic. They're marketing this as something that it's just a piece of paper.
Yeah, I mean,
printed.
if they're recommending using it for custom gift wrapping, obviously you can tear it up pretty easy.
Custom gift wrapping. All right, next story before I totally... Yeah. Well, Photo Jojo, what's interesting about their website, though, when you're on it, there will be a pop-up that comes up for live chat. Hey, is there anything I could help you with? Where it's like a live person. A lot of websites do that. Where there's live help, but they pop up to talk to you first. And it's pretty cool when they're knowledgeable, because that's a good way to interact. It's like, the first time it happens, like, cool, I'm looking for X, and they're like, well, here's a link to it.
I like the little dinosaurs you get every time you buy something from them.
Yeah.
It's like a random little figurine.
I just saw the other day they added a button to buy everything on the site.
You can literally just click a button and
it's like one window and you can buy everything.
Does it say how much?
It's the same price if you added everything. It's not any cheaper, but it's like a one-click way to do it all.
How much was it?
I don't remember off the top of my head. It was a couple
terrible
grand.
Reporting, Sutter!
It was a couple grand. I don't know.
Wow, I could see it being even more than a couple grand, because everything. I mean, some of their stuff is like $500 for like the really nice iPhone stuff and lenses and all that crap. Let's see. Moving forward, we have Samsung. They announced that they will give you a completely free NX30 on June 4th, which is this Wednesday, in New York City, if you show up with any old DSLR in exchange. Between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Times Square, they'll be hosting the hashtag Ditch the DSLR Day. The only catch is that it's while supplies last, and Samsung says there's only a sizable amount of NX30s to give away, so not sure if that means like 25 or 100 or 500 or whatever. Even if you're late, they'll be offering a $50 off coupon, though, if you're willing to pledge that you'll ditch your DSLR.
Ah, screw you. Screw you. Yeah, I pledge. It's like I pledge to not text and drive.
I bet they only have like 50. I mean, I can't see them
I bet
giving
they have
away
1,000 of them.
You think 1,000?
Yeah, they got to make a big stink out of it.
Yeah, then again, it is Times Square. I mean, even if just one person from the street sees free stuff being given away, they have
look at all the tourists that are there.
That's what I'm saying. And a lot of those tourists have cameras on them.
Usually the foreign ones.
Which is probably why they're doing it at Times Square.
Yeah, then they do a thing. They'll make a viral video out of it, and they'll get people to
Exactly.
take the Pepsi Coke challenge. I should just go for fun.
That would be cool. I
Well-
mean, it's also a Wednesday, though.
I know. Modest's CD release party's on Tuesday night.
Is that in New York as well?
Yeah.
Why don't you do it?
Yeah, I gotta crash somewhere.
Crash where he's crashing.
Modest?
Yeah.
I don't know where he's crashing.
I'm sure it's somewhere in New York.
I'll have to figure it out.
All right. So we brought up bad news about Nikon last week and its financial issues. Well, now Canon Australia has revealed that they are laying off a tenth of their staff after profits fell nearly 90%. Their profits in 2013 were only 4.1 million compared to the year prior, which was about 38.6 million.
How's that even possible?
90%, that's huge.
Now they'll be laying off about 100 administration and back office support jobs. And they released a summary of all the numbers via this chart that they put out, which you can view on the website for yourself. Apparently, a lot of this wasn't coming from the actual profits from like cameras. It was coming from like the support from Canon Japan or something like that. Like they weren't giving them as much money that they normally do each year. Something along the lines like that.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense when I read it. That's why.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Was it in English?
Yes. But the way they described it didn't really make sense. But yeah, so 38.6 million is what they made last year, and now they're making 4.1 this year.
Right. Well,
in profit.
let's also go back to the whole Nikon not meeting their financial goals. Just because they didn't meet their financial goals doesn't mean that they didn't make money.
Exactly.
They still made plenty of money. They just didn't make as much as they thought they were going to make. That's why they were restructuring. It's an ever-changing world.
It's a corporate world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like corporate America.
I don't think anyone does. Actually, there probably is some people because they're working in it.
Well, they love it. Well, they hate it, but they love it because some people just like getting that 9-to-5 paycheck, yet they'll complain about the job every day, but then they live for the weekend, and then they go to work, and they get their paycheck, and don't go any further than that.
Yeah, that is true.
But that is what it is.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people listen to RAWtalk are in corporate America. No, they go and do the job that they go to for the paycheck to hopefully take the photography to another level and make more money that way.
Makes sense. So Leica has teamed up with watchmaker Valbray and are offering 100 special edition EL1 chronograph watches in celebration of their 100th anniversary. Now, it's not your average watch either. They have a built-in iris-style dial, they're calling it, which basically mimics aperture blades opening and closing as the time goes by. It's really, really neat looking. And then when the blades are fully open, the watch looks similar to like the inside of a lens too. Now, the downfall is that this thing will cost you like... You want to guess?
I do.
Okay.
$14,229.
More.
$15,000.
24.
Did you read this?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, $24,700.
I'll take two.
The price of a car, pretty much. It's insane. So yeah, they're only releasing 100 of them, and extremely limited edition. But you have to be super rich to get something like this.
Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain.
Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain.
Got my brain, check my brain.
And then we have one more story this week, another unique Kickstarter campaign. A flexible LED light bank called the Rag Light is asking pledgers to fund their new project.
That's kind of dirty sounding, now that I think about it.
Like, because it has rag in it?
Yeah.
So the Rag Light is waterproof and virtually indestructible, according to the campaign description. It's literally LED lights wrapped in like this plastic protective sheet that can be wrapped up, and it's just very versatile. It comes in daylight or tungsten options, ranges in sizes from 4x4 to 8x8 to 14x14, all the way up to 14x24, which is their biggest size. Now it's $2,400 for the color-corrected Rag Light Cine, which is their 14x24 option, and it's about $75 for the Mini, which is their smallest option, the 4x4. So it goes from decent to really expensive if you want to really get into it. The other versions, though, The 8x8 and 14x14 range from like $150 to about $325. The project has about 2 more weeks left and has pledged $17,000 so far, with the goal of about $25,000. Yeah.
Wow, that's not taking off exactly as.
Well, I thought they would actually ask for a bigger goal, especially because they're asking for about $2,000 for that big light, the 14x24.
Look, it's a cool idea. If we could wrap up, fold up, have indestructible LEDs to travel with, that's light, that's easy. How do you hang them? Did they talk about how you hang them?
They have all types of separate mounting options, so you can mount them and hang them on almost anything.
So again, with anything on Kickstarter, if they get funded, they'll have version 2 out by the time they even get version 1 out, if they ever get it out. I mean, that's the thing with Kickstarter. They are not obligated to get it out. This is just money to help them fund the project to do it. And there's no guarantee that you will ever receive your reward. Where is the pixel stick?
You've asked that
Should
before.
I send them an email again?
Did you actually support that?
I didn't support it, but I supported it by way of talking about it and made a video and did an interview.
Oh, and they said they were going to send us one, didn't they?
At one point, but they did send us the Remy.
They did, yes.
Still didn't use it.
Yes.
I still haven't tried my REM sleep, my
what's it called?
Lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
No, because I lucid dreamed last night. Oh yeah,
You were flying, right? Just flying.
Yeah, I lucid did it all over that dream. That's not true. It was
TMI.
No, I don't even remember what it was about. But it wasn't that. It was some crazy thing going on.
You were hanging out with like Billy Joe Armstrong?
No, because he was high up on heroin. I mean, strung out on heroin. But anyway, we'll see what happens with it. It's a cool idea. It's not something I'm going to back.
Well, and they actually showed in the video like how versatile it is and how indestructible it is, because they have the flexible LED lights, so they're like stepping on it, crunching it, dogs pissing on it kind of thing, and it's like it looks good. It's waterproof and everything still works, and so I mean this thing is really nice for those traveling photographers.
I'm just surprised it hasn't raised more money. Usually people jump on this stuff, but
yeah.
Maybe there's not a need for LED rag lights.
Yeah, well, I thought it would be a little more inexpensive, especially for like the small 4x4.
How much is that?
That's $75.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do with a 4x4 rag light?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
And how's it power? Is it battery? Plug it into the wall?
I think you plug it into the AC. Yeah, I think you plug it into the wall. They didn't really show that part, but I'm pretty sure they have a battery pack that goes with it. And the other thing is too, like they showed, you could just use it also as just simple lighting, not for video or production, but just for everyday lighting. Like if you're camping or something, use it as like a lantern, do a 360 light, wrap it up the opposite way, a whole bunch of different
that's cool.
options.
That's kind of neat.
I'd like to see it.
So something to have in the bag, but I don't know if I would pay that kind of money.
Yeah, we'll see if they have a patent on it, or if somebody else comes out with something else different that's from a bigger company.
Yep.
So that's your photo news?
That's my photo news for this week, yes.
All right, so why don't we jump into this interview with Wong. I didn't know that I'd actually have Wong on the show, and this is what happened in Israel. We recorded it in my hotel room in Tel Aviv at the Diaghilev Hotel. Really cool rock and roll hotel.
Nice.
He came up to the room. We did about 25 to 30-minute interview, set everything up myself. So I am using my lavaliers, my Sony lavaliers, because I didn't take the Rhodes with me, and I was doing this all myself, reset the cameras, blah, 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 blah. But let's talk about why Wong was on this trip. I helped pick the photographers for the trip, and Wong was one of them. And I know he's got an ego. I've got an ego. Other people have egos, because that's what we are. We're show people. We like to be the center of attention. So we didn't know how we would get along, because you always, puff your chest when you first meet somebody. You do. You try to establish dominance and stuff like that. So there's always that going on. But as soon as Wong and I got there together and we were with the rest of the people, it wasn't really a show like who could do this and who. We do different things. He's got his type of style. I've got my style. And it was pretty cool because we would sit there and have really good conversations on the bus as we were driving somewhere. So I thought that, why don't we do an interview with him, hear about his style, hear about his name, Wong, if that really is his name or if it's made up. And, yeah, do you know?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, all right. Well, you'll hear on this interview.
Yeah, I have not edited this yet either, so it's another one kind of
Nice,
like the Ziv
fresh.
Karen. Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch.
So it's going to be a good interview for you to listen to, but I think you guys will enjoy it out there because it talks about a guy who had a job, didn't like his job, wanted to do something else, and started doing it like a couple years ago, not too long ago. And what he creates is pretty fascinating. I don't like using the word epic, and you'll hear a new word instead of epic because he was not allowed to say the E word in my video. We had to come up with something else.
You didn't want him to say that?
No, I'm tired of this word epic.
Epic.
It's been killed. Epic has been buried. Well, everybody has killed it because everything. It's so epic, man. It's gonna be the most epic photo shoot ever. It's gonna be so epic.
Insane.
It's epic. It's epic. It's gonna be so epic. Epic, 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 epic. I'm tired of the word epic.
But what if it actually is epic?
Very few things are actually epic.
What do you consider epic?
Something that is so extreme, so amazing, so over the top that it's epic.
So RAWtalk is epic. Woo! Epic.
So anyway,
There's no rules.
why don't we send it to Jared over there back in time, sitting with Von Wong in my hotel in Tel Aviv for this interview, special interview with Benjamin Von Wong. Okay, I am here in Tel Aviv. Jared, thank you for throwing it to me here in Tel Aviv from Philadelphia. I know that's a good thing. I am here with Mr. Benjamin Von Wong. Can we talk about the name real fast?
Von Wong.
Von Wong. How did that come about? Because I've known a guy that I went to high school with named Matt Manahan, and he'd made movies, and he tried to make his name Matt Von Manahan. He just put a Von in there.
That's exactly what I did. First thing you do when you start up your photography company, you tap your name into Google, and Benjamin Wong was another photographer based out of Toronto that did weddings, and I said, well, that's not going to work. And Benjamin Wong I've never thought was really brandable anyways, so I started thinking about what could possibly work, and Von means from in German. Von Wong, from the family of Wong, made sense.
Has it been working out?
I think so. I mean, it's got the shirts, it's got the bracelets, all that. It's easy to remember. People ask questions about it. It's engaging. It's simple to remember.
So do they remember more of the Von Wong part, or is it the hair? I mean, because you do play up the hair a little bit.
Both of us. I don't know. Some people don't even know that Benjamin's my real name. Some people get confused. They call me Mr. Von.
But at least they know something.
But they know something.
And that's all that matters.
David Von Wong, like
on the Instagram when we posted the photo from dinner, somebody's like, "Is that David Von Wong?"
Yeah.
But I think somebody did get it. They did.
At least they get the Von Wong right.
Exactly.
Which is more memorable than Benjamin.
Right, because that's the branding part. So we're here in Israel. We're on our. Is this the third day now? It's Thursday, so that's like third day.
Third, fourth.
Or is it fourth day already?
Fourth day, I think. Yeah.
Wow. So we've been here for a while. And what are you thinking so far?
It's been great, even despite the flooding, being trapped in the middle of a hotel with roads being blocked off.
But we were trapped with a couple of models.
Beautiful models.
Beautiful models from Israel that so happened to be via Russia, even though they were born here.
Yep.
Very good. So, I was watching you. This is the first time Is it the first time we've met?
First time we've really interacted, I would say. We've shaken hands photo week. It was like, hey,
oh, right.
I recognize your fro.
You were studying your, you had your headphones in, and I'm like, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm studying what I'm going to say. And I was like, well, I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm just going to get out there and do it. Yeah. So yeah, you were doing that. But I was watching you work yesterday. You break out the bronze color. You just figure out what you need to do. Now that's more for a shoot like we were doing. It just happened. Yeah. You didn't have a massive amount of pre-production for that. No. But when you make your shots, because I'm not going to use the E word because I'm tired of the E word, which we've heard many, many times as a descriptive word, and it's kind of overdone now. But the shots that you're creating are tremendous. Oh, I'll go with the T word.
Thank
tremendous. To know that they're not compositions, to know that you're capturing it in camera the way that you want it. You do crop a lot, as we were talking about last night. I mean, honestly, we've been staying up late, and I just was watching him edit some of his shots from
the Dead Sea.
Dead Sea the other day and yesterday, and he was doing like 16:9 crops. But that is your style. You're creating something that's your vision. Because you were asking me, why don't I crop? And part of the reason I don't crop is I don't want to get into the game of second guessing myself after the fact. But I'm totally cool when people have an idea to go with, and then you're like, well, I like this ratio more because with cinema and with photos, it's starting to come together.
Yeah, well, the idea between the 16:9 crop, I mean, not all my shots are 16:9, but I do prefer that slightly larger thing just because I think all the 27-inch monitors, 15-inch monitors, they're all tending towards that longer and wider ratio. So eyes are horizontal too. It just seems to fit nicer.
That's not racism, right?
No, my eyes are a little bit wide. But yeah, definitely. And it just gives a little bit of that cinematic quality to it. It's just like how the anamorphic thing, has a certain look and feel to it. So for me, my shots do tend to be a little bit more cinematographic in nature. The lighting is always a little bit more placed than natural, if I can, help it. So it just fits the general style. The cropping ratios I usually go for, if ever I did a vertical one, for example, tend to be a little bit more magazines. What do you do when you print? They're usually like 4:5s equivalent. So those are the cropping ratios I tend towards to keep.
So when you're coming up with a job idea, what are you? How much pre-production goes into what you do?
So I like to think of photography as 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, where you do 1/3 is pre-production, 1/3 is shooting, and 1/3 is lighting. It's post-production. So if you screw up any little bit along the way, you have to compensate. So if your pre-production is relatively non-existent, then your shooting and your post-production better be really good to compensate for less pre-production. If your shooting is not as great, well, you can always, do a better job by having some amazing pre-production, some amazing post-production. You could be a crappy shooter and still manage to do it. So it's kind of that triangle that I have going.
So you're doing all your own post work? You don't send any of it out?
No. I mean, I've given stuff out to people sometimes in a collaborative way, but my work's pretty much done myself.
Start to finish, it's you.
Pre-production, shooting,
which is
and
cool.
post-production.
And you do a lot of, you're primarily, you're in Lightroom. And then you jump into Photoshop for a lot of the stuff?
Yeah, Lightroom for me is more managing. I try to get as much detail out of my raw file as possible, just boosting shadows, recovering highlights, and then from there I take that into Photoshop and it just curves, dodge and burn, colors. My post work is actually relatively simple. I think I don't use really fancy tools in the sense that they're all the basic colors, maskings, layers, just stacking one upon another, and just being really picky, I think, overall with the image. I spend a lot of time on details. Like I'll edit out sand grains or details on the floors, and those little things I think really make the difference at the end in the shot, which give it that painterly or cinematic quality to it, because at the end of the day you spend a lot of time in that post work just painting in slight variations in lighting or color or whatnot. So that's what I tend towards. At the end of the day, that whole discussion, is post right or wrong? For me, I just consider myself someone who wants to create a final product that looks nice, whatever that takes. If I need to put more pre, if I need to do better in shooting, if I need to do more post, whatever that takes, I'll do whatever I can.
There's no right or wrong anymore.
I don't think so.
These are the tools that are at our disposal.
Exactly.
And I think we were talking about this at dinner or in the bus or somewhere where, like Ansel Adams, where he was just dodging and burning and doing so much post work to his images. He would go out and capture them, but he had these plates that he would create that would have dodge this for 5 seconds, dodge this for 20, burn this in for 10. And then he would make a photo of the perfect print, basically hit Control S, and then had the saved results so he could constantly put it out there time and time again. So I don't have a problem. People are like, are you just a digital artist or are you a photographer? They go hand in hand.
You need both.
If that's what works for you.
Even Instagram is a post if you want.
It's all posts. So we're talking, and how long have you been in photography?
Full-time, 2 years. I quit my job January 15th, 2012.
What was your job?
Mining engineering.
Mining engineering?
Yeah.
And how did you end up there?
I was Asian, good at math and physics, to play with all the stereotypes, and I went to an open house and I figured that I was going to go into engineering, and the guy at the mining booth was just extremely convincing. Best travel opportunities, best pay, smallest classrooms, great work term experience, and I was like, oh, this sounds amazing. What I didn't realize was that I didn't really bother thinking about the fact that mines were going to be in the middle of nowhere. So I just ended up in the middle of nowhere, which I'm a people person. I like meeting people, I like interactions. I can't just be in the middle of way wild north and just go crazy.
So then when did I'm not going to say the L word, love. Just where did the photography bug come from?
A girl broke up with me while I was working in a mine in Winnemucca, Nevada. And I needed to pick up a new hobby to keep myself busy. And
usually people write songs about girls breaking up with them.
Yeah. In my case, I didn't know what to do. So I just looked up, saw some pretty stars, and I'm like, I want to figure out how to shoot stars. So I went to Walmart and bought a point and shoot. That's
so you have no formal training whatsoever with this? And it's 2 years of shooting?
No, well, that was in November 2007.
Oh,
that I picked up my first point and shoot, and it took me about 6 months to figure out white balance. A year later, I discovered speed lights, and then I got my first gigs, and then those just slowly started rolling in. I started off in event photography, and slowly I started having 2 jobs, events and engineering. And then I was like, well, I don't need 2 jobs. Why the hell am I doing this? So I dropped the entire business side of photography to do creatives, and then that eventually took over. And then one day I just figured I knew for a fact that I wasn't going to be an engineer for the rest of my life. So what was I doing? Developing this career path that I was never interested in keeping. Sure. So I just dropped it and started figuring out things. Incidentally, it's funny because the first place I decided to travel to once I quit my job was Israel. Exactly. So 2 years ago, I was just scampering around here. No idea what I was going to do with the rest of my life, and it was kind of funny.
So you came to Israel and you found a following, a path.
No, well, I mean, I wouldn't put it that straightforwardly, but yeah. No hat yet. No kosher.
Yarmulke.
put one on at the Western Wall. That
I
was
did. It barely fit on my head.
And mine just kept blowing off.
It was pretty windy down there. So you're doing cinemagraphs.
Yeah.
Cinemagraphs. Do you want to explain that to people?
Yeah, so cinemagraphs, moving pictures. Basically, one small element of the image or a couple small elements in the image are just moving. So at first glance, it's a photograph, and then you suddenly notice the little bits and pieces moving. And I think the best cinemagraphs are those that are really, really discrete, because you're not trying to create a video, you're trying to create a photo with a little bit of movement in it, which gives it an extra dimension. So almost capturing that Harry Potter moving picture kind of a moment thing. And you know, this entire project was about showing off a little bit of the Israeli culture, that, you know, the beauty of the country. And I thought that cinemagraphs of Israel, I haven't seen any before. I personally have never done cinemagraphs, so they sounded like a cool challenge, and I just picked it up. And we found an FS700 with a 4K RAW recorder, an Odyssey 7Q, just slapped that whole rig together. I think it came out about this big, and you just planted around with a tripod asking for permissions to...
So in a short explanation, how is a cinematograph captured?
Essentially, you take a video clip, freeze certain parts of it, and animate certain other parts through masking, and you basically have a moving picture.
And there's software that helps you do that?
Yeah, the software that I'm using is called Cinemagraph Pro, that I'm putting it through, and I'm doing my color grading on Photoshop, oddly enough. It's the one that I'm most comfortable in, and I do all my cutting and, you know, sorting through Premiere Pro.
So we can post some of those? They're embeddable?
Yeah, they are embeddable on a website. Facebook doesn't load GIFs though.
Website, my website.
Yeah, sure.
On my post,
yeah,
where
of
your
course.
video...
You can pick out the ones you like the best, for
cool.
sure.
I mean, I saw some of them, and some of them are very subtle, like the smoke coming out of the guy's mouth, or the eyes blinking, or just subtle things moving. They're pretty darn interesting. So you set up the camera, you let it roll.
On a tripod.
For how much time? I mean, what is...
The end clip limits it to 10 seconds on Cinemagraph Pro, and it makes sense because you don't want to load too many JPEGs. It's going to take too long to render. So 10-second clip. On my end, I tried to shoot in some of them in slow motion, some of the higher frame rates, because it makes the movement even more subtle. And you just kind of figure out what the best intervals are and what the best loop is going to be, and just slap it on. The software is about $200, not the cheapest, but also, you know, considering that it's significantly more painstaking to do through like Premiere or After Effects. I mean, it's worth it.
Well, it's nice when there's a software that accompanies what you're looking to do.
Yeah, it's dedicated for it, and you know, I picked it up in literally 10 minutes, not a problem.
So do you feel that you jump around from not mining, but from engineering to photography to some other topic to now you want to do these cinemagraphs?
Yeah.
Grams?
Cinemagraphs.
Graphs. Cinemagraphs, and then you picked up lighting, you did this, and are you always jumping around with different ideas?
I like challenges. I think if I can do it already, there's no point in repeating it. So I always seek to find something new, something novel, something engaging that will keep my attention running. I don't know, maybe some part OCD or something. So I'm not so much a perfectionist as I like to master all aspects of it. And you know, like today, cameras can do everything from photo to video. How can you just say I'm a photographer when your device can do both? So people are starting to expect you to be able to master, at the very least, understand all the things that your device can do. So I try to do as much as I can, and you know, multimedia, it's all connected together. You can't ignore one.
Well, having it in the camera. I mean, I sit here with 2 DSLRs, wireless microphones, lighting on top, and I'm in Israel traveling myself to do this. Now, I hope it's pretty darn good. You know, but we have that. When I shot a roll of film maybe 8 months ago, maybe even a year, I had the F5 and I took a picture. The first thing I did was I went like this, and I was like,
oh,
yeah, that's not going to work. But I took my 36 frames, got out the D4, and it opened up a whole different world. Like, when you're shooting with film, you sit there and you go, all right, this is what I'm limited to. I know it's going to be grainy. I know I have 3200 speed or Ilford in here right now, and it's going to look X, Y. It's going to look like this. But then you take out a DSLR and you're like, well, I can push the limits of it. I can see the results. I can tweak my results right here and get it right. And then I can turn on the video and start capturing some other stuff. So having the ability to do so much here is important. So you're moving in the direction of directing?
I just think it's important to know. The only way you can direct is if you understand how to do it yourself. So I figured I'd just get into it. Same way I just got into photography, just hop in, started making my own videos. So I got a couple that I started myself, and I think general idea. Some people like to have a guide. Here you're putting one out, which is awesome. And on my end of things, I just like to jump into things and fiddle around and bang my head against the wall until I get it right.
Has there been a challenge that you've attempted that you've not been able to succeed at yet?
I mean, everything starts with little points of failure. I mean, you just don't see them, but you know, the nights staying up, just trying to figure things out. Right now, I recorded some stuff in Cinema DNG in 4K. I have no idea what to do with it. I'm just Googling, trying to figure it out. And I have basically like 750 DNG files that I need to figure out how they're supposed to stitch together. And I'm downloading these new programs that are crashing my computer. I have no idea what I'm doing. Just trying, just figuring out.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so we talked about those challenges and just working hard. I know the other night I watched your computer crash, looking up information, trying to find programs to edit those cinema graphs in. So you talk about the brand. You got Von Wong. What have you done? Because you've started to build a following, which I love followings. You know that. We talked about this on the back of the bus. We talked about the marketing and the dilemmas you have, whether you want to teach or whether you want to just go out there and create, or whether money is important or not important when it comes to doing what you're doing. But what is your goal with building the brand?
You know, I think the one thing that's evolved the most throughout the last couple years is that it's gotten easier and easier to do more and more epic stuff.
You use the E word.
Tremendous stuff. It's gotten a lot easier to reach out to people, to ask for favors, to pull things together. So my shoots are extremely production heavy. So I get like 10 assistants, I get like 10 models, I get lighting, I get equipment. All this stuff is extremely production intensive. So in the past, I had to try a lot harder to get a lot less done. And as the following has gotten bigger, as the work's gotten more recognition, as the followings have increased, all of that's getting easier and easier. So ultimately, what I aspire to do is just to keep evolving and keep doing larger and larger productions, whether it's in stills or in motion, it doesn't really matter, but just always pushing the limits and pushing the boundaries of what I can possibly do. So that ultimately is that goal, is that you can suddenly start pulling bigger favors. You can suddenly start working with the people that before were completely inaccessible. And that to me, I mean, just being here today was, I mean, you referred me, you know, 2 years ago, I don't think that would have ever happened. But it's because I developed, I started the behind the scene videos, the blogs, the YouTube, all that stuff. I put my work out there. I started getting seen. The work, honestly, has not necessarily, my quality of photography between 2 years ago and now has it's improved. Obviously, you improve as you practice. But that differential isn't what makes the difference between why I'm here today and why I wouldn't have been there 2 years ago. It's not a question of actual skill level, but that outreach and that voice and the branding that it carries is so important.
Well, if I didn't, helps. You know, seeing quality work, there's a difference between having work and quality work and putting it out there. You could have the best work in the world, but if nobody's going to see it, or you're not going to share it, or you're going to worry about people stealing it, then nobody's going to see it. But your photos, you know, you're on the cover of NPS magazine, which I know a lot of photographers see, so that makes photographers aware of you. A lot of sites pick up on your stuff to help it spread out there pretty quick, because the work is unique. You know, the underwater stuff. How did the underwater stuff come about? Just another challenge?
Well, I guess the biggest underwater thing that's been out publicly right now is the shot I did of the underwater realm in London. And how it worked was I saw their Kickstarter campaign, said, this is freaking cool stuff. So I wrote them an email. I'm like, I'd love to get involved. This is my website, da-da-da-da. And at the time I was still an engineer, and they replied, well, we love your stuff. We'd love to work together, but you're kind of in Canada and we're in London. So it was like, at the time it was like, okay, well, I guess that's not gonna happen. And I think fast forward 8 months later, I was crowdfunding a tour through Europe, and I was like looking for inspirational, awesome people. And I was like, oh, there were those guys in London. I wrote them a message, hey, do you guys remember me? Would you like to be a part of this project? I'd love to come on set and shoot with you. And you know, I didn't have a diver license, I didn't have anything. We just said, this is what we're gonna do, and just made it happen.
Which is cool.
Which is cool.
Mean, putting the photo, having work that's unique and different is definitely something that puts you out there.
For sure.
What is one of the first things that you had get picked up online?
First thing that was unique enough to kind of get spread, I think, was on F-Stoppers, where I got picked up for flower dancers. I took flower, I combined them with dancers, did them in a studio, messed up the entire studio. It was like a 3.5 minute video. And it got shared, I don't know, a couple tens of thousands of times, which is not that bad. At the time, especially for me, it was great. And you know, since then I've seen flower things pop up everywhere, but it doesn't matter to me.
Sure.
You know, as long as you know that, you know, then I keep innovating. I've moved on. I did some paint pigments, I've done water. You know, you just kind of try to combine things and move forward. And if you start realizing that everyone's as good as you, then it's time to get better. And that's kind of part of why I love putting and sharing things out there. For one, it inspires a whole different generation of people, but at the same time, it also prevents you from getting complacent, Because if you never share what you do, and you're the only one that can do it, then you're not going to evolve either, because there's no challenge out there.
Right.
Competition breeds, better,
well, it does. It
better
pushes
results.
you, whether it's sports, whether it's art, whether it's music, whatever it is. You want other people. I mean, you perform your best when other people are pushing at your heels.
Yeah,
and that's part of what I've done with videos. Is I know that when I jumped onto the scene, there weren't a lot of people being fun and informative when it came to photography. And then you start to see people trying to copy and emulate what you do. Mm-hmm. And then not everybody can do, and I know this for myself, is that I watch what some people do and you go, that's great, or why are they successful here, but why aren't I as successful there? And then you're just like, you need to focus on what you're successful at and what you're the best at, and continue learning the other things, but keep pushing that out there, which is, to me, important. I want to constantly evolve and do better, which is why we sit here with video and whatever else. But so what direction are you going to next? Like, what's the next couple years look like for you?
Couple years.
Yeah,
I know what I'm doing.
What's the next week look like for you?
Next week. Well, the next week I'm in Israel, just making the best of the time I'm here, just hanging around, doing other projects, figuring out. I have some video projects, I have some photo projects. I'm going to play with an X-ray machine just because someone said, "Hey, I'm a radiologist. If you want to come play with an X-ray machine, please come." His name is Guy Wiener.
Here?
Yeah, in Israel.
Well, what ideas do you have for an X-ray machine?
I was just going to scan my photo gear and do something like that. I can't do anything too big, too large, too epic. I can't. Tremendous. I can't do anything too large scale, but just to get acquainted with what an X-ray machine is.
Your X Pro 1 would look cool.
Well, I was just going to photograph my entire bag of gear. I'm going to take my broad color gear, my Fuji gear, my everything. See how that looks. I think it would be
to see what it looks like.
Yeah, no one's seen what's the inside of a flash look like. Why not?
No, I mean there was the guy who did the bus put the corpses inside the bus basically, and then did the X-rays of that. I mean, or the football player with the helmet on. That stuff's unique. I'd be interested to see what you come up with, because it's another different thing for you to work with.
Yeah, exactly. I just like anything that I've never done before. It's like let's try it out right now. And in terms of long-term plans, honestly, my life is planned in 2-month stints. In the sense that you never know what's going to come up. And I could have said whatever I wanted in terms of 3-year plans 2 years ago.
Sure.
Never guess where I would be today. And it's probably the same for anyone who's in that stage. There's that phase in your life. In my case, I have no attachments. I have no commitments. So I have no house, no car, no studio, no girlfriend, no nothing. So if someone says, I'd like to fly you to China in 2 months, yeah, sure, why not? So whatever plans I had going, they're all flexible.
Sure.
So I'm open to opportunity.
If you could set up your most tremendous shot ever, what would blow your mind that you haven't done yet with your style of shooting? What do you want to do?
I guess there are a couple of things I have never done before that would be interesting. Zero gravity would be one of them.
Because I was thinking space with you, like NASA type stuff.
Something with zero gravity, I'd just be completely stoked. And something aerials, something in the air, circus performers, hot air balloons, airplanes, helicopters. I wanted to do a shoot from a helicopter on the rooftop of a skyscraper on a window thing. Anything that you can think that goes extravagant. Like I haven't done much aerial stuff. Recently just did an underwater shoot, shipwreck in Bali. Hopefully that's going to be out by the time this video comes out. So the idea is just whatever hasn't been done. I mean, I'd love to go to Iceland, but that's been done a little bit more. So I kind of like to do, if I've heard about it, I try to just not do it, or at least one up it, because why bother repeating something that's already been done? So
you like doing the more extreme type thing. I'd like to see some of the sports stuff. If somebody wanted to do some extreme sports,
we're doing that. I'm doing that tomorrow.
Oh, but
in Jerusalem.
You'll be in Jerusalem. I'll be in Tel Aviv.
Yeah,
that's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
I'd love to see the aerial stuff, the trapeze artists, and
if that ever works out. Yeah.
And coming up with that. I bet you could just call. We've talked about this. With the work that you've created. This is that marketing side of it, where you're like Barnum and Bailey. Not right now, since they had that human pyramid fall, but in a couple of weeks, or you just contact some kind of aerial troupe anywhere and just show them what you have and paint the vision for them. Paint the freaking vision in their eyes and in their mind, and go, this is what I'm going to do. Here's what I've done. Yeah. And it sells itself.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. I mean, I think I really just have no shortage of projects is really the thing. I mean, between now and the next 2 months, I'm traveling to 4 different cities nonstop. I don't even know when I'm going to be home next. So I have these travels that last 2-3 months, and it's just one project after the other. So
if people want to hire you, anybody can hire you.
Of course.
And are there certain jobs that you wouldn't do at this point? Weddings, bar mitzvahs?
Yeah, well, I've gotten rid of events. I've gotten rid of, for the most personal products, they just can't afford me. I mean, they can hardly afford me, let alone the production that needs to come with it. But yeah, no, for the most part, yeah, I'll take on anything. I mean, the only people, because my work is so unique, the only people that hire me are the ones that are looking for something different, something extravagant, something extreme.
Do you find that has pigeonholed you a little bit?
It's kind of hard to explain to people the scope of what I can do. Because if you were to describe what I did or what I can do by encompassing all the production, direction, photography, videography, even the speaking, all that stuff, how do you put that in a couple words? It's just really, really hard to do. So for somebody who only sees one aspect of me, how do you expand that into saying, well, I can do all of this stuff for you too? It's kind of tough, but at the same time, it makes me extremely unique. So it's almost a question of just finding those couple niche jobs that will get the name out there, that will then, circulate back. At least that's how I see it. I think that this year is going to be an interesting year. I'm kind of curious to see how that goes.
All right. I'm not really sure where else to go next. But, we hit branding, we hit travel, we hit your style, we've hit what drives you. I don't know where else to go. You have anywhere you want to go with this? Anything you want to say?
No, not really. I mean...
No?
I mean,
just keep on keeping on?
Keep on keeping on. I mean, I have a lot of people that look up to me and say, man, I wish I could do stuff like you do. And for the most part, they don't always, a lot of the projects I do is just done with hard work. It's not...
Actually, we'll talk about, because I know we talk about monetary gain or money, and you said something, you're happier being poor than you were when you were making more money.
Yeah, so
not in photography though.
Yeah, I mean, when I had an engineering job, the stability, the safety, I was earning dual incomes through photography and engineering, so obviously I was more well off than I currently am. But I travel 8 months out of the year right now, and I'm shooting, I'm constantly creating, I'm constantly challenging myself, I'm getting paid to do the things that I love to do. That's very, very validating. You're pursuing something that you enjoy. And I don't know, there's not really any way to explain how great that feels. And to be able to decide what I want to do next is amazing. That freedom of knowing that I can stop. If I wanted to settle, I could settle. If I wanted to open a studio, I could open a studio. If I wanted to earn money, I could focus on earning money, and I would earn money. Because I'm at that space right now where I'm just at the edge of between that starving artist and being successful, and I'm not too sure how that whole thing's gonna pan out. And it's a really fun place to be because the world is open to anything.
Yeah.
It's just, for those who are stuck in something, who are kind of trapped and they feel that they can't break past that, you just gotta take the leap at one point in time. It's gotta be the same for you when you first started out. There are no answers, but life isn't made of certainties. Even if you have that stability, anything could happen one day and just shift your life about. And you realize that when the challenges come, you're gonna face them. Humans are like cockroaches. That's why there's so many of us. We just figure out how to survive whatever conditions happen. So, stronger than you think.
I think that's good. I don't know what else I should add to that at this point, but we're gonna continue on here tonight in Israel. We're gonna go
Drummer
on to
Circle.
Drummer Circle tonight.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
I don't even know what's tomorrow. They just keep taking us places.
Fishermen. You have fishermen tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to shooting the fishermen in the morning, early morning. No, not shooting them. Were they the Arab fishermen? They said. And we're going to somewhere. It's like early morning. I'm fascinated by fish.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but it's something about fish, and they should make for some interesting photos.
Fish farms. They have them.
They have
desert fish farms. Remember? Joanna was talking about
She was talking about fish farms. Fish farms were pretty cool.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see those. We did go to a flood. I thought Moses was, parting the sea or something.
The Dead Sea.
Anyway, so hopefully we'll have some of your work posted on the site. Where can people find more out about you?
Well, my website, vonwong.com or youtube.com. Von
Wong. That's right.
Wong.
You found it, you branded it, and you're making it your own, and you're taking it to another level.
Hopefully.
You're going to make it tremendous.
That's
the new
plan.
word.
Tremendous.
New word until that word sucks and people suck the life out of it, which they will do because people have a tendency.
Then we'll have to invent something else.
All right, Mr. Von Wong. Thank you, man. Have a good shoot.
Thank you for you.
Back to Jared and Steven over there in Philadelphia from Tel Aviv. We'll see you. So there you have it. Back to me as I throw it. Thank you, Jared, for throwing it back to me here in the studio of RAWtalk. Back into the future. Back to the future.
Great movie.
I want a new drug.
Epic movie.
I want a new drug. One that won't make me sick. One that won't make... But that's not even the song from Back to...
I was going to say, what song is that?
Well, it's I Want a New Drug from Huey Lewis and the News.
Yeah.
But the song was Back in Time. I loved Huey Lewis and the News. I saw Huey Lewis and the News play live once. They were actually playing the movie. I was looking up movies the other day, and Back to the Future was playing in the theater somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, the original. I don't know why.
Was it like remastered or anything like that, or was just...
I'm sure it was. I'm
Yeah.
sure it was digital, but I don't know why it was running. I never saw that original in the movies. I was too young.
Me too.
So that was a pretty cool interview with Benjamin. I learned a lot. We learned that his name was not Benjamin von Wong. We learned that he added the von because another lawyer or somebody like that had there was another Benjamin Wong somewhere. So he put the Von there. And he's doing a great job of branding. He's trying to do his thing. I know that he's in this tug of war, whether he should teach or whether he should focus on just shooting. He's in this constant tug of war with himself, trying to figure out what direction he should go. And I'm like, there's a direction where you can do both. There's the way that you subsidize everything by teaching, but you get out there and you still do all of your shoots. But a lot of the shoots that you do on your own, you pay for because you're able to make the money from teaching. So there's the stuff like that. And he talked about the cinemograms or cinemagraphs or whatever he talked about. These interesting, they're videos, they're like moving photographs.
Yeah, it's kind of like stop motion, but it's only a certain part of the video that's moving, right?
Exactly. And I don't know if he will have the ones from Jerusalem ready at this time, but I know he's got other ones, so maybe I'll reach out to him to see if we can post it. But he did some really tremendous photo shoots when in Jerusalem. He went to the wall, the Jerusalem, the different parts of the wall, because the walls are huge over there. There's a lot of different ones, and they did some extreme sport photo shoots out there.
Oh, extreme sport, really?
Yeah, guys jumping off the walls, doing other things. It was pretty cool what he came up with, and his shots at the Dead Sea are really, really tremendous.
Did he post them?
I don't know if he's posted them yet, but I'm going to reach out to him to see if they're up there, because we talked about in the video that he would have them posted by the time we did this, but it was time to get this interview out because there's no reason to sit on it. And we've been doing a really good job with a lot of different interviews lately. So coming up for Father's Day, we're going to have another interview where I sat down with my dad.
That was a
and
good
had
one.
a cool discussion. So we'll have the normal type RAWtalk followed by the interview with my dad, but that's coming up in a couple weeks.
And that actually goes along well with this being your 4-year anniversary too, because it kind of talks about your childhood, how you grew up, and starting off, and that kind of stuff.
Yup.
Yeah.
All right, so cool. Benjamin von Wong, thank you for taking the time to sit there and do this interview. Now let's talk about 4 years, and I have the 4-year questions and favorite moments that some people posted when I put it up on Facebook. So 4 years, a lot of people always want to know what's the future? What are you going to keep doing with FroKnowsPhoto? You've been doing it so long. How do you come up with new ideas? Ideas are always there. Ideas don't go away. There's always new gear. There's always new things happening in the photo industry. There's always stuff to talk about. So I'm not worried about new ideas. My whole thing with direction, and I've talked about it probably for the past 2 years, is doing different types of videos. And I think bringing Eckert on here full time in the next couple of months, if that's what you choose to do.
I think I will be.
That will help a lot take the content to another level that I want to take it to. We've already started to do that with, RAWtalks. Since you came aboard in the last year doing RAWtalks, audio's been much better. The video for just RAWtalk's been tremendous. It turned it into a new type of show. You earned your spot at the table by putting yourself into the situation, by making it happen, because we know that when you came in, you put a lot of work into it. You didn't just sit there and twist buttons and not focus on it and just think it was a job. You made it the best that it could be, and now we've taken it to another level. You're the one who pushed me to add more cameras.
Yeah.
Whether it was just a GoPro, and then I'm like, well, the GoPro's good enough, and then you're like, no, let's add some other angles, and then you edited it, and then I screwed up the 180 rule, and then I understand that now because we made the FroKnowsPhoto guide to DSLR video.
And then we got way more lights and H6 and better audio and better microphones.
And I want to do more.
Yeah.
I always want to do more. I want to get that live switcher thing going to try to make your life easier so you're not spending 8 hours a week editing.
And if we do it the right way, I think that is the way to go.
I have to give them a call. They sent me an email and they said give them a call, and I'll try. And I'm going to record the call because I'll call them on Skype just so that you can hear it back.
That would
and
be
I'll ask
good.
the questions: what's needed? How do we do this? What's the right tools? Let's make this happen, just so we can figure it out. Because that's going to really take it to another level. And maybe we take that on the road with us or not, or maybe we just take the Atomos Ninja Stars on the road and put one on each camera, so we're not sitting there resetting. Because I want to do the mobile RAWtalks. I want to travel more. I want to do more of my own shooting. But I've come to the realization that everything I shoot ends up becoming content for the site. And that's just the nature of the beast. People ask, do you take other jobs? You do paying gigs. I do paying gigs. But the great thing about having the site and being that I've monetized it in certain ways, I don't have to take those jobs that I don't want to take. And jobs that I do take are usually ones where I reach out to people and say, look, I would like to come in and shoot this. I'm not asking you to pay me for it this time, but I'd like to make content with it because I know the importance of making the content. So what I want to do the longer shows, maybe the 20s, maybe like the dirty jobs of photography, different things. And I talked
That would
about
be
it.
interesting.
And I'm talking to different multi-channel network people, and I'm not sure I really want to go with any of them. I really would like representation to try to take me into the next level as a personality, hosting different types of shows, branching out beyond, not saying that I need to branch out beyond photography, but I think I know I can do other things than photography. If I know what I'm talking about, yes, not video games, because video games isn't what I do, but just I know that I can host shows. I know that I'm quick. I know that I'm funny when I just quick to the punch. So quick to the punch, no faking. Hunting MCs like a pound of bacon. Something like quick and nimble. I hear a cymbal and a hi-hat. Time to get solo. Dance. That's Vanilla Ice.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get it.
Isn't he
get
like
it.
isn't he like a hipster now or something?
Vanilla Ice, he's not really a hipster. He has a show on the DIY network, I believe.
Yeah, what is it about?
It's great. It's house renovations, but
like lighting, right?
No, it's house renovations of like mansions, higher ticket houses.
Okay.
And I actually liked the show. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I like it. I like Vanilla Ice that he grew up. I mean, not that he grew up, that he freaking survived. You know, it's like Bieber in 20 years. Does Bieber survive and find another thing to do? And Vanilla Ice made a shit ton of money and survived.
Yeah.
With everything intact, thankfully, because I really love what he's done.
And he's always randomly in like movies too all the time. Like little parts most of the time.
So
but there was that
cool.
recent one with Adam Sandler he was in.
I don't see Adam Sandler movies.
I forget what well now I don't.
We'll discuss that on FroKnows Movies.
Yes.
Coming up. I'll just let people know. Somebody asked that. I think somebody said, what happened to FroKnows Movies? Well, that hasn't been for 2 years. I did 3 episodes. It just wasn't working out at the time based off of time. And now with Todd, who helped direct all of my FroKnowsPhoto video guides, I was like, Todd, let's do a show. Let's do it. Let's have another piece of content.
Come back.
What?
Don't call it a comeback.
Oh, thank you. We're going to do LL Cool J. We're going to do, it's not going to be on FroKnowsPhoto. It's going to be a separate thing, but maybe it'll be like FroKnowsPhoto.com/movies or FroKnows Movies or something, because I don't know that I want to put it on a separate website, but it's not going to interfere with the photography stuff if you're not interested. It's not going to be posted. Maybe once I'll post a show on FroKnowsPhoto on YouTube, which directs people to subscribe to FroKnows Movies, which you can find FroKnows Movies on YouTube. So whatever.
So you're going to keep it pretty much completely separate.
I want to keep it separate because for the people that aren't interested in it.
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
Build it separately. And if it's good, I mean, I think it's going to be pretty fun. I'm just looking to have fun with it. So we'll do that. That's another thing. I'm looking to branch off and do more things, creating more. But I want to do better content. When I first started, a lot of easy consumable content, easy short stuff, which is good. I still want to make those, and I'm not going to stop making the videos that I make and the critiques and things like that. But focusing on not scripted type stuff, but a show, some kind of show that I just feel that I need to grow and branch out into that.
Isn't this a show?
Yes, but not this type of, more like every show on TV is scripted. It's all reality, because all reality is scripted on TV. There's nothing real except for sports, except like wrestling's not real. So
It's not?
Coming up with something like that. Anyway, and I'm obviously very appreciative of you guys out there, because without you guys there for the last 4 years, some of you guys have been around for 4 years, if not longer, before when I was trying the JaredPolin.com thing, and Some of you guys have been there the entire time, which is awesome. And some of you guys have just come along the way and found me through one of the 1,550 videos that are up there on YouTube. So I'm very appreciative that you guys are here. It continues to be a free website with support from you guys buying the other things like the shirts and taking advantage of the sales and deals like that, and buying the video guides keeps everything going. So that's that thank you economy thing that Gary Vee talks about, that you give enough away, people feel like they want to support you because you've given so much time. We don't ask for money for RAWtalk. I do have some sponsors that throw money around, which is great because that allows us to do it and take the time to do it. But you guys don't pay for it. Maybe if there was a tip jar, they'd pay for it, but I don't know. You don't have to pay for it. But that's why we have sponsors. So if you sit through and listen to them and support them, it helps me continue to grow and do this stuff. All right, so we've got, this is from Paul Hillis in England. Have you ever abandoned a FroKnowsPhoto YouTube video either while making it or after you have it finished? There's been a few times. There's been a few videos that I've made where I've sat there and I said the quality isn't there, my energy isn't there, my enthusiasm isn't there, or it just doesn't come across right, and I have to really think hard, will somebody perceive this the wrong way and jump down my throat if I put something out that I'm not happy with? On the flip side, there were some videos that I put out that I didn't think were so good that ended up being some people's favorite videos.
It's funny how that stuff works.
Yeah, it's very weird because I'm very close to my content because I make it, so sometimes you don't realize what's better. But if I don't like something, I don't do it. And there was a video that I did that I put up on YouTube, and then I pulled it and remade it because of the negativity that was coming about it. That was the one, it was a Squarespace thing.
Yeah,
it was about stealing images and how to stop people from stealing your images. And the point was not that you could do that. The point was more that you can't stop people from doing it. But if you'd like to put these methods into use, you can. And then people just jump down, and I'm like, screw this. I don't need to sit here and read these negative comments, and I don't need to leave this video up for people to bash me. I'm going to make it again, but choose my words better. And I chose my words better, and I said it at the beginning of the video. I didn't try to hide anything, and that's what I think people like over the last 4 years, is the reality that I'm just a real person.
Yeah, you are. You're very open about a lot of stuff that we do.
Very open. All right, so Paul, that's the answer. The answer is yes to both of those.
I should say very transparent.
Yeah, very transparent.
Yeah.
Tom Craven, in the last 4 years, has there ever been a time when you thought of giving it all up? If so, what made you change your mind? I don't think there's been a point in the last 4 years where I thought that I wasn't going to continue doing this. There isn't, like, people go, are you going to cut your hair? Are you worried about cutting your hair? Does your hair bother you? No, my hair hasn't bothered me. I've been through Israel twice now. Right? People are like, well, you go to the desert. Does it bother you? No, I've been through massive summers here and heat waves. It never bothers me. I love my hair when it's down, though. And with the shaved head, it looked really good. I think I look much better with a shaved head, and I think my hair looks better curly when it's down, and I think the ladies like it a lot better. But this is the brand, and I'm living it, and there's no reason to cut it anytime soon, knock on wood. You know, maybe I go, like, bald in a couple of years. Who knows? But... no, there hasn't been a time. There hasn't been a time where I said I need to stop doing this and find something else to do. There's been times where I've felt where you get to that point of overwhelming, where you feel like you're overwhelmed. And one of those points came maybe 6-8 months into when I first started, and there were so many comments. And maybe a year in, you start getting the haters, people that rip on you and don't like you, and you start reading that stuff and you start questioning what you're doing. And then you just have to grow a thick skin and be like, whatever. There's 1,000 positives for 10 negatives. And you just have to look at it that way. So I haven't felt that there was a time to stop. Have I said anything to you about that? I mean, and you haven't been around as long.
No, I don't think so at all. I think on the negative comments sometimes get to you, but not most of the time they don't. Or actually, most of the time they get to me, and I'm like, hey, is this okay? And you're like, just don't even worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And I have the ability to delete stupid comments. I love the ones where people are like, unsubscribe, blah, 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 you're a dick. And like just rip on you. And it's just like, you know, I wish that your videos would stop showing up. And I just block.
Yeah.
Goodbye. I can make that happen for you. And I once had a guy call me that I blocked.
Really?
Called my phone.
What did he say?
He's like, why did you block so-and-so on YouTube? And of course, you know, I try not to take a defensive stance, but I'm a very defensive person. And I'm like, who is so-and-so? I'm like, who? He's like, that's me. I'm like, well, I don't know you. Did you? I'm like, did you possibly say something stupid in a comment? He's like, well, I said this. I'm like, that is a stupid comment, and that would be why I would have blocked you. He's like, well, I didn't really mean it that way, and could you unblock me? I'm like, I'll try to figure out how to do it, but I've never unblocked somebody on you. And I figured it out, and I unblocked the guy, but I'm like, just put yourself in my shoes. That comment that you just read, would you like to have gotten that comment? Would that have been something that you know, think about your words. Well, think about how you want to comment.
It's funny how when people aren't behind a computer, how nervous they are to comment about anything. But the second they're behind that keyboard, they're saying whatever, which is great for certain things, but it's also not so great.
Yeah, so anyway, I unblocked the guy. It was just so weird that he called and was like, why did you block so-and-so? And I'm like, I don't know who you are. There's 300,000 followers. You know, I don't know.
It's weird that he called you.
Yeah, it was very weird that he called me.
Yeah, I would never call someone, especially after I bashed him.
Yeah, well, oh well. He wanted to continue to watch my videos,
yeah,
which is,
funny.
I guess, a good thing. Devin Ford, what was your biggest challenge to get where you are today? I think challenge-wise was getting out of, what's it say? What's Sutter say?
Like 57 minutes, roughly.
All right, cool.
That's not including interview. For
no, I know. The hardest thing was, I guess, staying focused when I first started. Just staying focused throughout the whole thing and evolving and let me read this again. Biggest challenges to get. Challenges are business related. I think it's related to people that you work with. I think it's related to directions that you choose to go. Steering the ship as the leader or the captain, you have to take control and make decisions on everything. I have to make decisions on everything. And it is a business. For anybody that thinks that, you know, I was called a sellout back in the day. You know, I'm sure people still call me a sellout. And I love when people call anybody a sellout because I'm very, like, is Beats a sellout for selling to Apple for $3 billion?
Insane.
Is that a sellout? No, that's called business. That's called success. And I don't believe, I think sellout, people perceive people as being sellouts because they're like, oh, bands are sellouts.
Because they're successful.
Because now they're successful. And they're like, well, I was around when what's that band with the new album, Blue?
The new album, Blue?
Yeah, Red, Blue.
Weezer.
No, not Weezer. The two guys in the band, the drummer and Auerbach.
Black Keys.
Black Keys. Like, I saw the Black Keys when they toured in a van. Right? And they were opening for Beck in 2002. So they've been around for a long freaking time. And for them to get the acclaim that they have now and the being on new having their music on commercials, that's maybe not something they would have done 12, 13, 14, 15 years ago. But they sell out stadiums now. Is that a sellout? Are they a sellout because they went mainstream or their music crossed over or they did something and they went with it? Absolutely not. So anything, you know, I'm not a sellout by any stretch of the imagination, and I don't know that there is such a thing as that. And I think that what people have to realize is when it comes to advertisers, there's very few advertisers and sponsors on this site, and there haven't been since day one. And I know it's a tough industry right now with photography because a lot of people are cutting back on their ad spending. They're not spending a lot of money on banner ads because banner ads don't convert. I tell my advertisers that banner ads don't convert. They're happy with the little conversions that they do. But we do these live reads. We talk about Atomos. We talk about Rode. I only talk about the products that I would personally use myself or that I believe in. You're not going to see me take money from Gary Fong.
Yeah, I was going to say, you get offered a lot more than just, you know, our sponsors
you hear
here.
about it because I talk to you about the business stuff.
You're very, very selective, and usually we will try it and give a full rundown of it first before we actually will support it.
Because so many people want to just send stuff.
Yeah.
And as a business, people... If you guys get into something like this, you may think that getting free gear from certain companies is a good thing. Yeah, it's cool.
Until it fills your apartment up.
Until it fills your apartment, and it only takes you so far because you need money.
Yeah.
You need money to keep doing what you're doing. That's called business. And if you're a photographer, you understand that. So I think most of you guys understand that stuff out there.
And you can't keep them all. A lot of them are just review items where you're selected, you know, only a certain amount of time.
Right.
Minus
you send
the
it back.
D800 that you've had for how long?
I think I've had the D800 for a year. They just mentioned something about it.
No, more than that, because you've had it since
I had it since my old house.
Yeah, and
I've been in here for a year.
I've been.
I think it's a year and a half.
You for about a year and a half.
I think I need to send that back.
Yes,
we have the D610s now.
Yeah,
but the D800 came in handy the other day. So
it's still a great camera.
I don't even know if this was part of what was the biggest challenge.
We just answered everything minus the question.
But no, that was, I told you, biggest challenge is steering the ship and making decisions for yourself. And I have trouble making decisions. Like, My dad calls. You want to go to dinner tonight? I don't know. I don't know if I want to drive a half an hour. I don't know if I want to do this. And then I have to make a decision.
Well, it's usually the small things like that are the indecisive decisions.
I'm very indecisive with a lot of
Yeah.
stuff, but business-wise, I make decisions. I like to make educated decisions. I used to have people sit there and be like, you need to make a decision on this right now. I'm like, I'm not ready to make a decision on that until I know more about what I want to do. If I need to make quick judgments, I can make a quick judgment when I need to. But if it's something pertaining to my business, I want to be educated on every aspect. I want to run the scenario. I'm very in my head, which is hard for me at improv because I'm very in my head about everything. I run scenarios through start to finish before they even get started. I try to find the path to success before I even start the project. I look for what could the possible downfalls be. So I try to analyze it and figure out, does it make sense to do it? Do the pros outweigh the cons? And that's that. Okay, move on. Paul Clarkson. Hi, Jared. Congrats on 4 years. You've accomplished so much in such a short space of time, which I think it's a long time now, 4 years.
Yeah.
When you planned FroKnowsPhoto, did you sit down, pen and paper, and plan out what you were going to do with your first month and then the second month and after your first year, or did you just set up and roll with it?
It's a good question.
And also, thank you. There was no business plan. There were ideas my idea, tagline. Create fun and informative content to keep people coming back for more. Second thing, attack Google, YouTube, as hard as you can. Put up a new video every single day. Put up a shizer ton of content. I know, I'm trying. You put up a shizer ton of content repeatedly. That's quality, but consistent. Because it's one thing to put up a lot of content, but it's another thing to have consistent quality content. So I knew that putting a lot of that stuff up was going to be a key to me being successful. Do you have something to say, or are you just yawning?
No.
So that's one of the answers there. I didn't ever sit there with pen and paper, but I did, through my mind, come up with a schedule for myself to stay focused. Moving on to the next one. Alex Medvik. Other than the obvious stuff, starting website, hiring Steven, making very frequent content, what was the best, most important decision you've made in the history of the website?
Another good question.
Yeah. So I think one of the most important decisions the most important decision I think I've made since doing anything is full 100% ownership. No partners. Ever. There's been no partners in FroKnowsPhoto.com. Past businesses, I've had partners, haven't worked out. Didn't like it. That's because it's two mouths to feed. It's two people's decisions have to be made. When you are running a business and you're at the top and it's your thing, you have to make the choices of what direction to go, and you have to live by those choices, and you have to die by those choices. And if you make the wrong choice, you have to go ahead and be smart enough to know that you shouldn't go down the wrong path too long, that you need to make a correction and pivot back. One of the things when I first started, and I said this in some other episodes, was I started in the hopes that I would get more photo jobs from people who would see these videos. And this is the short abridged version of the story, but I thought that would happen. I thought that I would put this content out and people would see my work and they'd be like, I'm going to hire you to do shoots. Now, that may be the case for Benjamin von Wong for the type of stuff that he puts out, but what I found was that beginner photographers were starting to ask questions. They looked up to me as their person, their inspiration to try to do what I've done, and they wanted to know what gear should they buy and how can I do better pictures, and then I realized very early on that I needed to pivot that direction. I wasn't going to get photo jobs. I don't think I probably have gotten photo jobs now out of it, but before I pivoted and then I took it to the direction where the people were leading it. So Gary Vee said, when I asked him, he's like, you were smart enough to know that you needed to pivot to go where everything was going and take it that direction. So I took it that direction. So the hardest decisions have been, the best decision has been maintaining ownership 100% no matter what, because everything falls on me. My decisions, I live with them, I die with them, my choices. Eric Iceberg Gilmore, how did you come up with FroKnowsPhoto as a catchphrase and a brand? Did someone you know say it? And when in your career was FroKnowsPhoto what you were going to ride with as a company? I was sitting at the computer and I was trying to come up with photo website ideas. Back in the day, it was like Pro Photo 101, thinking of ideas like that. And I had a fro already, and I sat there and this was when Ari and I worked together. This was after we were done working together in a business, and we used to bounce ideas off of each other. And I was thinking of names, and I would throw them over, and certain things weren't liked. And then I just said, "Screw it! I'm going to make my own decisions." Again, here's just diving deeper into my head again, and I'll come back to this question: is that sometimes I get stuck relying on other people too much, and I feel that I rely on them to make things happen. And that's why I printed out that Make Things Happen that you see sitting on my desk, that printout that I rolled over with my chair talk this week. I rolled over it, so I got to probably print another one. But
you can reprint it on that photo Jojo.
Yeah, really big.
3x4 print.
So sometimes I find myself not going out and doing things because I'm like, well, this other person can't be there to help me. Or like when I filmed the thing with the girl the other day with Jenna, I didn't rely on you having to be here to make it happen. Now, you would make the content better because there would be a flying camera, but whatever. I still sometimes would start to rely on other people too much, and then I have to pull back and be like, you're in control, take charge, you run the ship and make your decisions. So that was that. But the FroKnowsPhoto happened. I was just sitting there coming up with triptychs, and it came out, and I'm like, FroKnowsPhoto.
Genius.
I was like, oh. And I didn't even send it over to anybody to ask what they thought. Because I'm like,
you just rolled with it right there and then.
I liked it. And that is all that matters. I thought that it was going to be good. And I know that some other people didn't think it would have been good. Like after I'm like, I bought the website, I went and signed here, I signed up here, and I bought FroKnowsPhoto. And that was going to be what I went with. And it didn't make any sense. I actually think I bought the FroKnowsPhoto first.
Like the Facebook.
Like the Facebook. And then I dropped the. I did. I dropped the. That was the one thing that before the site launched, I'm like, why have the in it? Just go with FroKnowsPhoto.
Yeah.
So I went with that. And then other people tried to do other things, like somebody knows music and somebody knows business, and they didn't stick with it and they didn't make it happen. So that's where FroKnowsPhoto came from. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Oglink. Oh, Jason Oglnick. Oglnick. Can you please give us a behind-the-scenes look at the steps you made to make the I Shoot Raw shirt happen? How you got feedback on the design, what you did, the copyright design or tagline, how you found a printer, etc. Thank you. I've enjoyed a lot of your content for the past 2+ years. You know what's funny? When I first started doing videos and people are like, I've been watching for years. And I'm like, I've only been around for 6 months.
Oh, yeah.
People used to do that.
I've been loving your videos for the past 10 years.
Yeah. I Shoot Raw was just one of those things that we said a lot, or I said a lot, or whoever I was talking with said a lot. And it was just like, well, I do shoot raw. And then when it came to the shirt design, I put the shirt design together. I laid it out, and any graphic person will yell at me because they pick out they say it's a mistake that the R and the A are touching and they shouldn't be. But
I noticed that too.
But who cares? Like this is it. And by the way, Google just moved the G and the L 1 pixel.
I saw that.
Right. So yes, they're touching, and so that's how you know it's my design, because some other people that have tried to rip off the design have come up with the A in a different place. So really, that's where that design came from. And I started offering my first T-shirt for sale on June 10th, 10 days after the site launched. How did I find a printer? I found a local printer because I knew that shipping would kill me and raise the cost of my items. I didn't want to do an online printer because I knew that the quality that they used sucked. They used like Gildan shitty shirts.
I hate
and
those
are
shirts.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Even though Gildan's trying to, they bought a commercial on the Super Bowl. They're trying to spend a lot of money. I don't like Gildan. I won't use their products. So I dealt with a local place to buy the shirts. My printer I used a new printer for this, and I ended up forging a great relationship with them. My first order was totally messed up. They printed it totally wrong. I think they printed everything.
I Shoot JPEG?
No, good one. They printed the I Shoot Raw too small. I think they used the wrong thing. They did something wrong, and that was my first introduction to the new printer.
Did you actually give away those shirts, or you got it redone?
No, he kept them.
That would be cool.
And they use them as rags.
If there was like certain amount of limited shirts out there.
I didn't like them. He's like, we messed up. I already reordered the shirts. We're going to reprint them and get it done.
That's good.
And there hasn't been major mess ups. I love him because he's a mom and pop store.
Still the same place you get them at?
Still the same place I get all my stuff done. I don't care if I pay more. I don't even pay that much more than, like, some people like, you should have gone to China. I'm dealing with that right now. Don't say why. You know, getting stuff from China, which just landed. It's in California. It's on the boat. It's coming off the boat.
Nice.
5-6 days. It will be here at some point soon.
Long in the making.
It's been long in the making, but we've kept it silent for a long time. And when we unkeep it silent, you guys will see what it is. It's a pretty cool item. But
excited.
yeah, I would never go to China for this type of stuff because of how long it takes to get it. And if there's a mess up, you're out of luck, and you don't have somebody to talk with. It's not a mom and pop. The guy will not drive to my house and drop the shirts off, which he does. All right, so
wow.
I've asked that question. I've answered that. Done. Michael L. Dunlop, who's been around since day one.
Yeah.
Okay. He had a couple of favorite things. One of them was motor scooter.
I haven't heard you say that in a while.
I haven't said motor scooter. Motor scooter, I think I said that in a Black Rapid video like 3.5 years ago, where I'm like, if you're on the back of a motor scooter, it will be really good to use. He had another thing, the think tank superhero.
That was funny.
Why did you like retire him? What happened with that?
I don't know. I stopped doing the as stupid stuff, which a lot of people seem to like. I don't know. I didn't.
Yeah.
It was an intro, and I think I lost the footage.
Who filmed all that?
I did.
Isn't that? Oh, it's all on a tripod, isn't it? I didn't. That's good.
I know. That was when I would set out. See, that's the stuff I just made happen on my own.
Yeah.
I went and I did it, and I set that all up myself. My ex-girlfriend, Taylor, helped me with that stuff at the time, but she didn't film or anything. She was there. She came out with me for that. But
It had to take a while to film on your own.
It took an afternoon.
Yeah.
And then I edited it myself.
Yeah.
All the stuff I had to learn to do on my own, and now I give you a lot of stuff to edit, and I still edit stuff, but the think tank superhero was fun. He liked that. And then he says the Ken Rockwell floating head video. Do you even know what that is?
Yeah, isn't it the
It's the JPEG,
the
Rawverse
mannequin?
JPEG, yeah, where his
Yeah.
head was on top of the mannequin. And I didn't realize that in iMovie I had the Ken Burns effect on, so the head started, and by the end of the like 5 minutes, his head kind of floated away.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't take his picture with permission, though, now that I think about it. But anyway, that was that. He liked that. So Michael Dunlop's been around a long, long time for the website. Thank you, Michael. You have been a fan of... Oh, he said you have been a fan from my way back. Well, I know I need to speed up, right?
Yeah. How many more pages do you have?
We're almost there.
But you sure? You have a lot more pages.
Well, now it's just people
Okay.
reminiscing. It's not questions.
Okay.
But they do bring up stories. Mava Silva, how much time's left on these?
3 minutes.
All right. Reset them in 2 minutes and get the Wheel of Fro by the time I'm done reading her thing.
Okay.
Or so just start doing that now. Maybe.
Okay.
I was looking at a think tank bag. Okay, her name is Mava Silva. I was looking at a think tank bag and came across your review on YouTube. You had this extra colorful shirt on and played with He-Man. It made me laugh so hard that I peeped your channel, and I've been hooked since. I lost my husband last year and was left raising our 10-month-old alone, which sucks. I took your advice and invested in myself. I bought both of your guides and invested in glass. Proud owner of the Hebrew Trinity. You helped me get out of auto almost instantly. I always look forward to the Monday commute because I get to listen to the podcast where I always learn while laughing. Thank you and your free content. I'm slowly starting a business on the side that's helping me support me and my daughter. So thank you, Jared, for all that you do. I can honestly say that I wouldn't be here. I need to read. That I wouldn't be here where I am if I wasn't for FroKnowsPhoto and you. Happy anniversary.
That's a
So I'm going to give her the
great
Wheel of
comment.
Fro. We're going to get that spun. But see, people, like, we talk about RAWtalk. Why did I start RAWtalk? Because I wanted to have a long-form piece of content that people could enjoy, that people could watch, that people could consume in their ears or in their car somewhere other than just on YouTube. So anyway, that was that. So we're going to spin the wheel here. We've got Adorama picks. We've got Lexar, which we ripped on earlier, and also said that their SD cards lasted in the ocean for 2 years. FroKnowsPhoto
Yes.
Photo Guide. She already has my guides. If it lands on my guides, we'll spin again. Question mark, Rode microphones, Think Tank Photo. They give the bags, Think Tank Warrior. Maybe we'll start doing that funny, stupid stuff again, Steven.
I'm fine with it.
Adorama picks, borrow lenses, $250. Squarespace will give a free business year. Check out squarespace.com/fro. My video guides, Black Rapid strap, which I still don't. Somebody asked me remind me to get the dimensions of the wheel. Somebody asked me for the dimensions of the wheel. I saw it on Rakuten. It's the one with 18 spaces. I think they want to make me some high quality logos.
That would be great because These pieces of paper are slowly falling off.
I don't remember who said that, but if you're the person who said that, please email me again, jared@FroKnowsPhoto.com, and I will get you the dimensions of the wheel if that is what you would like, because you can actually slide things behind the plastic.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to spin the wheel for Miss Silva here. All right, Sutter, what time is it?
Wheel of Fro!
Oh, and the wheels feels tighter.
It's because we tightened it up.
Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Where's the wheel of Fro stopping this way, and it's not wobbling. Weeble wobbles fall, but they never fall down. Weebles wobble, but they never fall. Power Let's Oh, yeah! $250 in credit for you to spend and rent something. And since I think you're in California, they're not too far away from you. I believe they're in San Jose or San Jose.
Probably San Jose. She can probably do the pickup.
Yeah, there's probably a pickup, so you don't really have to pay for shipping. So awesome. That's going to get you something that you can use.
That's a good one for her, for sure.
That is a great one. So I will be contacting you, and if I forget, you contact me. Mike Anderson, over the last 4 years. Oh, Lil, hands down. Such a joy to watch. And then he asked, I guess, a hard-hitting question that I debated putting in here. I'd like to know how many photography paying jobs you have had over the last 4 years, or have you mostly focused on teaching, sponsors, and sales to keep you afloat? Day one, what kept me afloat was shooting weddings before the site even started. I had 2 solid years of weddings, so it was probably 20 to 25 weddings that I did over a 2-year period in the $3,500 to $4,000 ranges. So you would probably profit anywhere from $300 to $3,200 per wedding after paying other people. So that was the money that I sustained myself with. I was doing photo gigs. I still get photo gigs. We talked about that earlier. But yeah, selling the guides, offering up the teaching stuff, getting sponsors, all of that stuff is great for money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what's needed. So, boom. Nicholas Schmoltz. It's Schmoltz. It's Schmoltz. I have visited Paris a couple of visited Paris a couple of months ago, and I have listened to RAWtalk on the way to the Versailles Palace. During the train ride, I met an American photographer wearing an I Shoot Raw shirt. So we talked a little bit about your website. I hope it shows your global impact of your website. One question asked for 1 million times: when do we finally see a video of Steven setting up his Squarespace account? I would love to see that. So this is cool.
I don't think people realize too. I have 2 jobs and I am working nonstop all the time. So that is why I am not setting that up every day.
Yeah, when you start working for me full time.
Yeah, then I'll actually have time to set it up. That's why it's on the back burner.
What I love is
on the back burner.
I've gotten messages like this since I started selling shirts. I remember one of the early ones was my buddy Simon Pollock, who went to Israel with me, saw somebody in London on like the tube or something wearing an I Shoot Raw shirt. And this was when they first started. So he saw somebody very early on wearing one of my shirts over there.
That's cool.
Which was awesome. And this happens all the time. I get pictures of people like, I met this person, or I saw this person wearing a shirt, and I started a conversation, and they have this connection, which is me, which is awesome. So that's really cool. What's her name? Oh, I can't. Jackie Blakeney. I never get her last name right. She just sent me a long Facebook, and she's like, the Fro did it for me again. She's like, I have a picture of you on my business card, along with some other stuff. And I was going to get this gig with somebody, and I handed her the card, and she goes, you know the Fro? She's like, I watch his stuff. And that got her a foot in the door to get another client for a big client that she was hoping to get.
That's
and
awesome.
all because of the stories she had from me, which is cool.
Very cool.
Nicholas Schmoltz, we just read that one. Frank Schumacher. Jared, I didn't like you when I first saw your videos. I thought you were abrasive and tactless. I may be abrasive, but I am not tactless. I kept watching though because I found value in the work you released. After a long time, I realized that what a genuine and upstanding individual you are. I've grown to respect you. I appreciate you being straightforward and honest. It doesn't hurt that I immediately get all the references and language you use, even when Steven stares at you with a blank face. Completely lost, but trying. Keep up the great work. Thank you. All right, thank you for watching. And that happens a lot. People either love you or hate you, but I think over time, if you get it, you'll kind of like the videos. Funny story, I found you by... and he said, funny story, I found you by searching for Ken Rockwell.
That is funny. Isn't it when you Google it now?
Yeah, the first video that shows up when you Google Ken Rockwell is Ken Rockwell is dangerous to photography.
Yep.
that was the point.
That was the point.
Barry Porter, I can't remember the first time I came across your videos. I just know it was before RAWtalk. Last year, I was going through a hard time in my life, and I sent you a long email about how you helped me get through it and get my life back on track. And not only did you reply with a long email back telling me not to give up, you also sent me 2 T-shirts and a few lens cloths that meant the world to me. A lot of other people would have just ignored my email, but you took the time out of your busy day to do all of that stuff for me, and I'll never forget that. And I'm sure if you've done that for me, you've done it for others too. Just shows what a great person you are. Thanks for everything that you do. Yeah, I mean, I answer a lot of the emails and messages, and I do the best that I can. Edwin DeVry. The funniest video was the one you tackled the torso and then Ken Rockwell face on it. The video which did the most for me was the one where you talked about your mom, and because it's emotional. That was a moment that I thought this guy was real. Yeah, and I think that video, that video is real, and I think that changed a lot of people's minds when they saw that. They're like, oh, this isn't bullshit.
Yeah.
My question, did you have a moment in those 4 years that you thought about stopping? If yes, well, I already answered that earlier, so we're not going to talk about it again. Matthew Wookie Simpson. I like the videos outside on the grass with Kermit. Those were interesting to make.
I don't even know if I've seen them.
They were pretty good. It's stuff where it's like I jump into the scene laying on the ground and I'm shooting Kermit going over aperture, and then I did backlighting with Kermit. I did things like that. That's the stuff that I kind of stopped making myself. I don't know if I got lazy or I just didn't feel like doing it or what. I mean, was
it because you already did it?
Well, part of it is because I already did that type of stuff, but I liked tackling the dummies. I think part of going forward in the next couple months and years with what we do is taking stuff out into the city now and having you on a camera following me around, kind of what Kai Wong does in Hong Kong.
Yep.
We can do some of that stuff in Philly, and it just makes it for more real world examples. And I know what videos are successful on YouTube. Every time you put up a gear review, this lens versus this lens, that is what has hundreds of thousands of views out there on my videos. So I think there's going to be a big push to go back to Alan's a lot and do those lens things. As much as I don't want to do them, I know that's the stuff that I have to do. It's kind of like you shoot weddings to make money to allow you to shoot other things. I know that those are the things that are going to get more people into the site.
Yeah.
This is the last page. Sion Nicola, I have a marketing-related question. How did you start? Were you selling merchandise from day one? We already talked about that. When did the FroKnowsPhoto logo brand come about? Oh, I think I know why. If I start a YouTube channel like yours, can I come up with a logo slogan later? At the beginning, were you shooting only camera reviews? Where did you start to shoot the tutorials? Where is this going? Thanks. Happy birthday, FroKnowsPhoto. I think that's it. I think he was asking, did I just do RAWtalk before I did all that? How did I increase the quality? I think I've covered this whole thing, so I'm going to move past it. Taylor Edwards. When I first discovered RAWtalk, I watched all the way up to episode 50 in 2 weeks, and
Wow.
I've listened to the marketing episode 3 to 5 times. Thanks so much for all of the info, Fro. You're amazing, and I truly feel you have helped me help make me a better photographer, business owner this day. I think we should do some of those RAWtalks again.
What do you mean?
They were like the wedding talk and then the band concert one where I put out specific topics to talk about.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a while.
Which is
Mainly because
fine.
we got so concerned on interviews, so we kind of spiced that area up a lot. Because what happens is like we are concerned about one specific area to make better, and we end up focusing so much on that we kind of end up losing some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
So I think since we really got the interview part down, we need to start bringing some of those old topics back. I wonder though, with the whole 2-week thing, listening to 50 episodes, if they notice the quality slowly getting better and better, especially because we use different mics, different compression, everything. Then
and I know around 17,
Video.
around 19 or 20 when I moved here, and I didn't have somebody coming in to help me with the audio because you know why. And I was just sitting at my computer. I knew that wasn't going to work. I didn't want to do a podcast that was sitting behind my computer and just talking. I was doing flying solo. It was just Q&A sessions. And this has taken it to a new level.
Yeah.
It is officially a real deal show. It's entertainment. It's infotainment. It crosses over. So that's what I love about it. Mark Payne. Your early videos were awful, which I don't really agree with. I don't think they were awful. It's great to see how you've progressed and grown into the superstar you now are.
your early videos were
Superstar.
I miss that character.
Do you even know that?
Nope.
Yeah, whatever, Sutter.
SNL.
All right, so
I've never watched that.
those are all the. I really thank you guys for doing that. The memories that you had, they trigger memories in my brain, obviously, and they trigger stories of where it all started and how it's progressed. I hope you found a lot of information in there about the business. Useful. Great questions, great feedback. Thank you guys very much. And that's pretty much going to be the 4 more years end of it. But don't forget about the code 4 years. It's 4 years, one word, and it's a number 4, YEARS. Pop that up on the screen for me. Code gets $5 off your order of $19 or more for 1 week on store.FroKnowsPhoto.com, and that's going to be on all non-special things. So if I have a separate special for a 2 t-shirt special, you're not going to be able to get the $5 off for something like that, because I already give you a darn discount. I want to thank Rode Microphones, Adamo, Sutter. Thank you for coming out of the closet. He didn't come out.
I'm not.
With your girlfriend. With your girlfriend.
He said, I'm not.
With your girlfriend. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Von Wong, for the interview and sitting and taking the time to do that. And anything else you want to add before we go?
That is it.
If this is it, please let me know. I want to know if this is love. Why don't you show me? So if this is it, ooh, I want to know if this is love, baby. Baby, let me... Huey Lewis in the news. All right, so that's 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years. Woo! All right. That's the end. This is, Jared. That's RAWtalk episode number 88. 4 more years. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.